to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. For more than 30 years, my team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. Over that time, we've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
I'm Ian Young. I'm at Las Casas Feed Supply. I'm selling beef and pork, 100% Angus, raised here in Las Casas. Come get you some.
Everyone's favorite cuts available, even options to purchase a quarter of a steer.
We got the beef. Hello, everybody. Las Casas Feed Supply.
Family owned and operated, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East.
Market declines, unemployment, oil prices. Don't let headlines derail your long-term financial strategy. I'm Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. I'll work with you to help you understand the impact of short-term events and how to be positioned for the long term. We provide the tools for a disciplined approach to investing. Call 615-907-7056 for an opportunity to discuss your situation. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
When Rutherford Countyans think of insurance professionals, they think Rayburn Insurance Agency at 200 South Lowry in Smyrna, meeting the needs of thousands of customers since 1973. You can trust Rayburn Insurance with all your needs, a place where customer service really matters. It's personal with Rayburn Insurance, as fans of local sports, as friends, and as insurance professionals. Check them out at rayburn.net or call 615-459-4145. Rayburn Insurance, for business, auto, home, and life insurance.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax
Let the doctors and staff
perform
at TOA
tax preparation, individual tax returns, corporations, partnerships, and all your payroll bookkeeping needs.
Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service.
We fulfill all your tax preparation needs from individual returns to corporations and handle any of those scary letters you may get from the IRS.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
Let the doctors and staff at TOA, Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, get you back in the game. Here's Chip Walters with today's Health Minute.
We're at TOA with Dr. Mike Jordan, and today we're going to talk about a couple of things that you can have done to relieve certain amounts of pain and help heal you, and that's PRP injections and cortisone. And I think more people, Dr. Jordan, have heard of cortisone, but what are the differences and when should that be considered?
Cortisone has been around forever. We use that for anti-inflammatory purposes. It's really good for frozen shoulders, inflammations, tendinitises, arthritises. And it really is just an anti-inflammatory. It's a pain reliever. And it has a time frame that it lasts anywhere from 6 weeks to 6 months, depending on what you're injecting, what you're using it for. PRP is more of a healing injection. It does have anti-inflammatory properties and can be used for the same things as cortisone. And we use that for people that have tendinitises and arthritises, acute muscle tears, which you would not use a cortisone in, tendon strains, which you would not use a cortisone in. It's got much more of a healing promotion, and it doesn't work nearly as fast, but the effects tend to last much longer. So if you were just comparing cortisone in an arthritic knee, it might last 3 to 6 months. If you're comparing that to PRP, which might last a year to 2 years. So the applications are a little bit different. The biggest difference for the consumer or for the athlete is cortisone is covered by insurance, but PRP is not.
That is definitely something to remember, and in particular, if let's say that weekend warrior has a pretty bad muscle strain, that would be more the PRP, whereas if they had a joint that was stiffening up, more of a cortisone type thing.
Yes, and I should have said the PRP stands for platelet-rich plasma.
Okay, well, there it is. And that's good information again from Dr. Mike Jordan, as TOA keeps you in the game.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Monsi Bolaños.
Monday Night Football saw the Cincinnati Bengals beat the Jaguars in Jacksonville 34-31 in OT. Bengals were led by quarterback Jake Browning, who completed 32 of 37 passes for 354 yards, 1 touchdown. He also had a rushing touchdown.
I mean, he just lit the world on fire. Halftime, I wasn't sure if we had an incompletion if the ball had hit the ground yet. And I just thought he managed the game beautifully well. He was aggressive with some of his throws. Did a great job making plays with his feet.
That was head coach Zach Taylor. Unfortunately for Jacksonville, they had to finish their game without quarterback Trevor Lawrence, who suffered a right ankle sprain and had to be helped off the field in the fourth quarter. He will have more tests done today to determine the extent of the injury and how much time he will miss. And at the quarterfinals of the NBA in-season tournament, the Pacers eliminated the Celtics 122-112, and the Pelicans eliminated the Kings 127-117.
The Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air, family owned and operated since 1977. Get the best service with Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air. It's online at PretniceAlsup.com. I'm Danny Brewer. Welcome to the Coach's Corner. We are going to talk a little bit about Riverdale girls basketball to start the show. Right now, the Lady Warriors are sitting, I believe, at 1-6. Last night, they were defeated by Shelbyville, 41-18. Of course, Shelbyville, those who have been around here a long time understand the history of Shelbyville girls basketball. So it's always been a very proud program. Of course, Riverdale has been an extremely proud program as well. Multiple state championships. They had some amazing runs a few years back. Falling on a little bit harder times now. Like I said, 1-6 this year. They're coached by first-year man Joshua Bugg. He's taken over the reins, and he's trying to right the ship over there at Riverdale and get them back to where they're accustomed to being. Now, of course, this is the holiday season. It can be a busy time for everybody, especially during basketball. You got tournaments and whatnot. This week, coming up for the Lady Warriors, they play on Tuesday night at Franklin County, a road game. You know, the thing about basketball in the mid-state, especially girls basketball, is it is extremely strong. So getting back to where you want to be sometimes can be a little bit more of a challenge, but they'll go to Franklin County on Tuesday. And then on Friday, they will host Marshall County. So big week for Riverdale girls basketball. You can catch the Lady Warriors at home on Friday against Marshall County. You know, they're trying to get the ship righted over there. When we think about some of the past players that Riverdale has had, the tradition is so very proud. You got girls like Anne Marie Lanning and some of those Middleton, all those wonderful players that they had, and that those great state championship runs that they've had. So it's a proud program. Of course, they're trying to shift gears now from football. They had a great football season. Earlier this morning, Brian mentioned about football, high school football being over now, which is good news, bad news. You know, it was a great year. Of course, those football fans are sorry to see it end. Riverdale, they can hang their hat on a tremendous season, their first region championship in quite some time. They beat Oakland during the regular season, so they had a wonderful year over there. But now it's basketball time, and get over there to Riverdale to see the Lady Warriors play. I'm sure they're going to be worth watching under Coach Joshua Bugg. So this is Danny Brewer. I'll be coming back here in just a few minutes with Smyrna head coach Lonnie Drayton. The Coaches Show is brought to you by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates, jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more online at jhacompany.com.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here, and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
This Fanceroni pepperoni is fancy.
Am I fancy enough for the Fanceroni? I'm wearing cargo shorts.
But Tim, so am I.
Try the Fanceroni pepperoni with over 100 Old World pepperoni. Little Caesars changed the Hot and Ready Classic and added 33% more pepperoni, which makes it 133% better pizza than before. It's really good. Order a new Classic online and use our convenient Pizza Portal pickup.
In Murfreesboro on Memorial, Warrior Drive, South Church, and Old Fort.
Pizza, pizza.
You've seen the ads out there, companies wanting to buy your home. But why sell yourself short when you can get fair market value? I'm Lisa Patton. If you have an estate to settle or a home to sell, call Parks Auction. We'll work with you to sell your home or property in any condition with no costly repairs on your timeline. Why accept one offer when you can have multiple? You need Parks Auction. We look out for your best interest. Call Parks Auction today. We handle everything.
You've heard people say, you know your work by your name, but there's no better name for residential and business concrete work than Dan France Concrete. From basic slabs to decorative stamping, for your next concrete project, call Dan France Concrete, 615-642-5152.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Trust me, Dan is committed to the community and will offer you a great product. He'll stand behind his work and make sure you're satisfied with every aspect of the work. Dan France Concrete.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
An app for easy payment.
Solar energy solutions.
I just want to talk to a real person when I need help. Energy tips and low rates.
Done, 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 done.
I want to fly my car to the moon.
Houston, let's talk about electric vehicles. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what matters most to you. Learn more at mte.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. What are some of the advantages that Carpets by Osborne has?
Being a family business and being locally owned and operated, we do free estimates. We have our own subcontractors that work for our business. We will come out, look at your floor covering. Throughout the whole process, you deal with an individual. You're not passed off to different contractors. We handle it from start to finish.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
The Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones Financial Advisor Lee Colvin. I'm Danny Brewer. You know, I am so pleased right now to be joined by the legendary Lonnie Drayton of Smyrna High School. Coach, how are we this morning?
Hey, I'm always good when talking to you.
Attaboy, Coach. Attaboy.
I had to perk up when he told me. He was like, you're on the phone with Danny today. I was like, oh, I got to get on my A game.
All right, Coach. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Smyrna campus. I want to, because if you drive by Smyrna High School, you see all these exciting things happening over there. Talk for a minute about the football field house and what that's going to mean to the athletic program, because if I understand correctly, there's going to be workout facilities for all teams in there, as far as it's going to house. There's going to be girls' locker rooms, all kinds of good stuff over there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, as far as what we do now with the limited space, I mean, we have one of the best strength and conditioning coaches there is Coach Villarreal. We call him Coach V. But what he does with the space. I mean, girls basketball goes in there, and with the space he has now you're going to blow it up. I mean, it's about to be huge. Now, I mean, it's looking so much better. How we've from where we started to the developments of it right now. Over the Thanksgiving break when we came back, I was like, golly, they got so much more put up. I mean, it's going to be probably one of the biggest game changers in our county. I mean, it's as far as our locker rooms, everybody's renovating, establishing new things inside the locker rooms. Boys basketball, girls basketball, pretty much brand new renovated locker rooms, and then the football. It's so much happening. It's hard to keep up at Smyrna right now. I mean, with the news, the school is almost. I mean, it will almost look brand new. We've got the extension, the huge extension coming in this field house, and I can't even explain it. It's hard for me to put it in words, but it's going to be unreal what it's going to do to our programs, all of our programs.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And you're right, Coach V is a machine. Let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about Smyrna girls basketball, since that's what we're supposed to do on this show. What's your what's the record right now for Lady Bulldogs, Coach?
I think we are 4-4 right now. I think we won last night, so I think we're 4-4 right now. We get you play so much this time. I mean, I think we played 3 games a week for the last 2 weeks. So you play so much at this time, you stop keeping up with it. But I'm almost sure we're 4-4 as of last night. So yeah,
let's talk a little bit about last night's game. What was the score? I think you guys were at Glencliff. Is that correct?
Yeah, we went to Glencliff last night. There's a struggling program right now. The great boys game, the girls game wasn't. It gave us an opportunity. I told our girls, at the end of that game that that was the most unselfish I've ever seen a team play. We went in there, and one of the focus, the points of emphasis was to make every girl get in that game, and every single girl that dresses out scores. And we achieved that last night, and that's not something that you are able to do a lot of times, especially in a younger program. When we have younger players right now, and every single girl got to dress out, and every single girl was looking and so excited for each other. You had teammates passing up good shots to get a better shot, and that's like, a coach's dream right there when kids are, genuinely happy for the next girl to do something, or the next girl to take a charge, or the next girl to, get a block out and a good rebound. They're cheering and screaming for each other's success right there. So when you have that kind of culture, only good things can happen for you, right?
Well, absolutely, Coach. And, that's one of the next points I want to make from hearing you say these things. The culture that's created as far as the team mentality, you got to be awful proud about that.
Oh, I love it. And it's a constant focus, with our girls. Every practice, that's what we're talking about, because you're not going to be excited to practice. I don't know anybody any coach that's excited to jump up and practice every day. But, my job is to provide that energy, and your job is to at least for that 2-hour practice or 2-hour game, to fake it till you make it. So we go in there, and that's what we do. And we try to, thrive off or enjoy everyone's success and get excited for your sister right next to you. So.
And that's fantastic. And when you see that, especially with these high school kids, because these bonds that are formed now can last a lifetime, right?
That's true. That's funny that you said that, Danny, because I talked to softball and basketball about that just yesterday. I said, we need you. We need you to form this sisterhood in order not only to be successful right now on the field and on the court. That's important. But, the biggest thing is you only got 4. We say you got 12 months, really, to play this game in high school. We look at it as 3 years, your freshman year, 3 year sophomore, 3 year junior, 3 year senior. And in that time frame, I want you in 20 years from now to be able to walk by one of your sisters and, still talk and still get invited to baby showers and weddings. That's the most important bond that you can make in all of this, not just the wins and losses. But, I'm not going to sound like, Butch Jones right now and say the win's not important. So it's we do want to win as well. So.
Right. Well, but this is all part of winning, correct?
That's right. That's right. You build those cultures. You trust the one next to you. You support. You're excited about their success. And like I told our girls the other day, when everybody eats, everybody's happy. And, so if you're looking for your sister and you're looking for her to get the ball, you're looking for her to eat, to be successful, then she'll be looking for you. So that's a huge, big emphasis this year. You're just touching on all points right now. The big emphasis on us for us this year and moving forward in the program.
Well, and then that's all fantastic stuff. Well, let's talk about what you got coming up. I know you said you had 3 games last week. Is it 3 games this week? Is that right? Monday, Thursday, Friday? Is that right?
Yeah, another 3. That's 9 in 3 weeks. Yeah, we've got. I know we go to Mount Juliet on Monday. Which. Smyrna, Mount Juliet, you never know what's going to happen. It's always one of those games. If you, 12 years ago, the Smyrna, Mount Juliet game was a bigger game than the boys' game. The girls' game was a bigger game than the boys' game.
Yeah. For a long time, because way back when I was in school, that was huge too. Smyrna, Mount Juliet. It's always been huge.
Yeah, it's a huge game. So, I don't know if the girls' game will be as big as the boys' game now, but it used to be some huge names out there. And then we go to Holloway on Thursday night, so we'll play Murfreesboro, and we play that game because, my mother's the principal of Holloway, and, we go out there and try to showcase, it's a little family thing. I need to, show my mom, what's up, But,
Now, then at the Christmas dinner table, will your mama show you what's up?
Oh yeah, that's why I'm very short when I say. And then we go to Cane Ridge. We play Cane Ridge at home on Friday night, and that's always that used to be our a district opponent last year, and we thought we'd keep that series going right there. So it's a fun. I like Coach Tribune at Cane Ridge. She's a legend in Nashville, and her teams are always well coached and always ready to play. So it's always exciting.
Okay, Coach. Well, 'tis the season. You're 4-4 right now. If you had the Lady Bulldog basketball Christmas stocking, what would you like to see in that stocking for these girls to maybe be able to pull out of that stocking and wear come first of the year?
That's a tough question right there. Let me see. If I had anything to give those girls at the first, it would. You put me on the spot here.
Well, I didn't know if it would be like better shooting ability because I thought, Coach, maybe because we know you were a bombardier back in the day. I remember those days. I don't know if you would work with them a little bit on some of the shooting. If you want to be better defense, better rebound. What do you need? What do these Lady Bulldogs need in their stocking for the new year?
Oh, I would if I could give them the ability to put the ball in the hole as a clip. That would be. I think that is right now, Danny, that is our biggest. We would probably, and I hate to be this person, but I'm more than sure we'd be 8-0 if we could find a way to hit open shots. We're getting what we want. I'm talking right now, even layups. We're getting what we want. We're one of the fastest teams I've ever coached. We're little bitty, so we have to play so fast. And the problem is even at the free throw line right now, it's horrendous. We're just not putting the ball in the hole. I think we lost to Riverdale the other night, and we went. The game was decided at the free throw line. We lost to them by 3, I think, or 4, and we missed 15 free throws in that game, and they missed 6. And we lost to Antioch. We went 6 of 26 from the free throw line. And we go back to next practice, and all of our girls are focused on, free throw shooting when you're tired, and then, we get into the game, and I don't know, it was the lights sometimes, and I don't, it's hard as a coach when you're trying to teach it, and we're doing everything fundamentally. We try to break it down, and this is where it's supposed to go off. We had girls the other day. I had a little girl, 2 freshmen, that didn't know that every basketball court in the country, there's a nail in the free throw line. And so we had to explain what that nail was for, how you line up, So we took that 10 minutes of practice to show this is how you align your body on this nail at the free throw line, and we're doing everything fundamental, and it's just sometimes not translating in games like you want it to. So for Christmas, Santa Claus, please, if you could make that happen for us.
Well, Coach, I'm going to give a little piece of advice here. Maybe if you got out there and kind of led by example, like I said, I remember that shooting touch, Coach. That's Lonnie Drayton. Coach, we wish you the best of luck this week. If you want to see some good girls basketball, get over there Friday night to Smyrna whenever they host Cane Ridge. That'll be a good one to go watch. Lonnie Drayton, appreciate your time, and we certainly wish you the best of luck.
Hey, you too, Daddy. Thanks so much, bud.
Yes, sir.
The Blue Raider fan source for officially licensed Middle Tennessee gear is Raider Tees. T-shirts, caps, sweats in all sizes, designs, colors, children's to plus sizes. Raider Tees has decals and license plates to show everyone your favorite team. Plus, check out their wide selection of Blue Raider art, jewelry, even golf tee markers. Show your Blue Raider pride with the largest selection of Blue Raider merchandise anywhere by shopping Raider Tees, 910 Ridgely Road, just before the bridge over Broad behind Chewy's.
Pizza. Murfreesboro's favorite pizza is now hiring at all 3 local locations. That's right. We want you to join the Sir Pizza team. Stop in at our East Main, Veterans Parkway, or Memorial Boulevard locations and let us know how you'd like to join the Sir Pizza family. Also, we've made it even easier to order for carryout or delivery. Just head on over to sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAlsup.com.
The Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by the law offices of John Day, providing superior legal representation to injury victims and their families. Find out more at johndaylegal.com. I'm Danny Brewer. I am honored now to be joined by Rutherford County basketball coaching staple Jennifer Grandstaff of Blackman High School. Coach Grandstaff, how are you this morning?
Hey, Danny, I'm doing well, thank you.
Very good. You know, it's a lovely morning. It may be a little cloudy, a little rainy, whatever, but still, hey, we got some girls basketball season going on, and it's all good, right?
That's right. It's an exciting time of year again, and so a lot to look forward to.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your record. What's the record for the Lady Blaze right now, Coach?
We are 3-4 right now.
3-4. I know you had a tough game last night. You don't dodge anybody. You played Coffee County last night. Got to play a few more players last night because of some injuries and stuff. Some players dinged up. Talk about the experience that playing a team like Coffee County provides for some of your kids that maybe aren't in there as much during some of the other games.
Well, sure. This is the second time we played Coffee County this year. You know, it's just, you know, we are a little banged up right now, so we had quite a few different players on the floor last night, and I just think it's great experience, and for those players to get the reps that they're getting against a quality team. I thought our kids did a great job of competing with them. I thought they played hard. It had a lot of effort. I thought they had the right mindset. I thought their attitude was in a good place last night. So just proud of our kids. I thought they battled, and you know, they just I think this chance for them to get quality minutes in competitive games is hopefully going to pay off for us in the long run when we're able to get some kids back healthy. When we have to go to our bench, I just hope that you know, we're not going to see a big decline when we do have to sub, and I think this will pay off for us.
You know, quality minutes is absolutely accurate. You kind of ran into a buzzsaw last night because there were some times when Coffee County was just lights out shooting the basketball, but your team never wavered in their effort. And obviously you touched on that a little bit, but a proud moment for you as a coach, I'm sure.
Sure. I mean, we knew coming in they're just so talented shooting the ball. You got to guard them all, and you know, they got us in a couple predicaments where they get downhill and they pulled in our backside help, and they were able to kick it out quick before we could get a closeout on them. And you know, that's a tough guard because those kids they're shooting about 27 threes a game. They're shooting over 60% from the threes, and you know, if you don't get out on them quick and try to contest and just try to distract them a little bit, it's pretty much a knockdown shot. And you know, last night I thought they shot the ball extremely well. But like you said, I thought our kids challenged. I thought they gave great effort. You know, Coffee County's they're a very talented basketball team. They got a chance to make a good run this year. But again, proud of our kids, the way they competed, and you know, I thought that their effort was really, really good last night. So just a tough matchup for us.
Talk about post player number 24. I saw some things last night that looked really good. One time I think she shot the ball left-handed, a little left-hand hook in the lane and stuff. Talk about her and her development.
That's Mariah Corey. You know, we've got high hopes for Mariah. I thought the first half she, you know, rushed things a little bit, didn't get a really good look at her shot before she released the ball. She's got to be a little bit more aggressive on meeting the pass. You know, she waits too much for the ball to come to her. In the second half, I thought she responded to the challenge. You know, we need Mariah to score. We had a lot of good looks around the bucket and just couldn't finish in the first half. And then in the second half, you know, I thought she definitely did a lot better job for us. She, you know, jumped up, got a really good, you know, we keep preaching to our guards, you know, give them the ball high, they'll go up and get it. And I thought she responded to that. She did. She made a couple really good catches and finished around the basket in the second half. So, you know, we're excited about Mariah's future. You know, we're all eager for her to take big strides, a little quicker, and we hope that she's able to do that for us. But again, you know, just a talented sophomore that's going to play a lot of minutes for us this season.
And I mean, the best news about her is she's a sophomore, right?
Sure. Yeah. Young. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what you got. Let's talk about what you got coming up there, Coach. What's coming up in the week ahead for Blackman Lady Blaze basketball?
Let's see. Tuesday we host George Creek, so we know they'll get out after us. They got some returning players. Watched some film on them. I think they continue to improve as the season's been going along. So we'll have our hands full with Stewart's Creek. Friday we go to Columbia. We had Columbia at our place last week. It was a competitive game. We were able to get some separation late in the third. And then Saturday we go to the Rockville Classic. We play at 2:30, a team out of Missouri, the Marshville, Missouri. Don't know a whole lot about them right now, but we'll be able to get a lot of information on them before we play on Saturday. And then the following week, right before Christmas, we go to Lebanon and we play Hewitt-Trussville out of Alabama. Really good 7-8 team out of Alabama, extremely competitive. And then on the 21st, we play Hamilton Heights. And that wraps everything up before Christmas break. So, you know, a lot of good competition coming up. You know, we're hoping we can get a few players back in our rotation in the next couple of weeks. And, just continue to grow and improve.
Coach, is that one of the cool things about this time of year? You know, you mentioned playing a team from Missouri, playing a team from Alabama. Is that one of the neat things for not only you as a coach, but your team, the players, playing somebody that you don't know that is from somewhere else?
You know, I always think it's good to play opponents that you're not real familiar with. You know, we look forward to it. You know, again, like we don't know a lot about those teams. Our kids are very unfamiliar with those teams, but we'll do our best to prep and to have them prepared for when we do step out on that court. That hopefully we can put a good product on the floor and we can be competitive with those teams.
Well, Coach, I think your teams have always been competitive, no matter where you've been at. But what's your team strength this year? You know, you've had lots of players and you've been able to do lots of good things offensively, defensively. What do you think the team strength is right now of this edition of Lady Blaze?
You know, that's a tough question right now. We haven't been 100% healthy since the year started. Going into the year, I thought our strength is definitely going to be our guards. And we've got some, you know, fantastic quick guards that they can get downhill. They can shoot the ball pretty well. But again, you know, we haven't had our true, all of our players healthy up to this point. So, you know, we are as a staff, we're extremely anxious to see, you know, what is our team going to be like when we do get healthy. You know, we're definitely pleased with our post play. We'd like for them to score a little bit more, but the rebound of the basketball hard. Again, I think our depth is definitely going to be a lot better throughout the course of the year when we do get our players back. But that's a tough question for me to answer right now. I mean, I know what we thought we were going to be like going into, you know, November, what we thought it was going to be like, you know, when we would sit as a staff and discuss in September, October. But again, right now it's a work in progress. We go to the drawing board about every day and knock things around. And you know, I will say we're going to be a tough out. I think our kids play with great effort. They play with passion, and they're competitive. They never let us down in terms of those things. You know, we talk a lot about let's control what we can control. We can always control our effort, and we control our attitude. And up to this point, regardless of the record, I mean, you've got to praise their effort and their attitude because they get out there, they compete. You know, they're open to, hey, let's take a look at this or let's take a look at that and see if that gives us a better opportunity to score or to get some easy buckets. And, you know, so it's just a work in progress. Hopefully, if you ask me that question mid-January, I'll have a solid answer for you.
Well, Coach, you know, I would be remiss if I didn't mention horse racing somewhere in my broadcast because me and Coach Workman love to play the ponies. The Mistletoe Stakes, they're running today at Oaklawn Park in Arkansas. There's a horse I'm going to bet in your honor because this has been my description of you in Rutherford County basketball. Lovely Ride is her name. It's been a lovely ride for you so far, especially at Blackman High School. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Oh, gosh. Absolutely. It's just been a fantastic journey, part of my journey. Couldn't be in a better place. Just so I love my administration so much. They're so supportive. The athletic director is just amazing. It's been a lovely ride. And even though we're in a lot of adversity right now, you know, that doesn't change a thing. It's a growing year for us, and we're going to battle back to where we want to be.
Well, Coach, hopefully we'll be cashing a ticket today on Lovely Ride. I appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck. Certainly get out there and see the Lady Blaze. If you want to see some good basketball, Coach Jennifer Grandstaff got them headed in the right direction. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Danny, thank you so much.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by J. Mullins Jewelry, a family-owned and operated business treating clients like family since 1938. Jewelry design, repair, and wide selection of great jewelry pieces online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brett Craig with Craig's Tax Service. From personal tax preparation to business bookkeeping, payroll, and taxes, at Craig's Tax Service, our staff is here to help.
Get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
As a former Siegel Star football player, I know the importance of the high school sports experience. Good luck to all county student athletes.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
stickers, labels. We do a lot of direct mail, booklets, manuals, programs. My name is Jeff Carlton. I handle sales and marketing for Franklin's Printworks here at Murfreesboro. We are at 2227 South Park Drive. Franklin's Printworks has been in Murfreesboro for over 25 years. We are a full-service commercial printer. We offer everything from business cards to brochures, booklets to banners, everything in between. Our website is franklinsprinting.org.
Winners Trophies can help you with customized awards for any occasion. Owner Kelly Hockenberry continues to provide awards for sports teams, churches, recognition awards, and more. Call Winners Trophies at 904-6002. That's 904-6002 for the best in quality, service, and pricing. You can also email Kelly, winnerstrophy@comcast.net. That's winnerstrophy@comcast.net. Any award for any occasion. Winners Trophies, 904-6002.
We're talking with Anne-Marie Brents at Rick's Barbecue on Warrior Drive.
Our sandwiches are very popular. Our pork and our chicken are probably most popular pulled meats. We have spare ribs. They're delicious. They fall off the bone good. We don't put sauce all over our meat.
And that's so you can choose mild or hot sauce or their signature white sauce.
White sauce is our special kind of secret sauce. It's delicious. It's kind of got a kick to it, but it's not too spicy.
Barbecue smoked chicken, ribs, loaded baked potatoes. Check out Rick's Barbecue, 212 Warrior Drive.
In Rutherford County, you know how much it means to have neighbors you can count on. I'm State Farm Agent Bud Morris, here to help life go right when you combine home and auto insurance. Call me today at 615-893-1417.
Renters. When you combine State Farm, auto, and renters insurance, you will save money. I'm State Farm Agent Celeste Middleton, and I'd love to talk to you about combining your auto and renters insurance to help you save. Call me 615-895-2700.
Hey, it's Brian. I'd like to tell you about my bank, First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. I want a bank where people know your name, say hi, and yes, even give me a sucker sometimes. Every time I go in, everyone's got a smile. Everybody at First National Bank of Middle Tennessee makes you feel so special. You get the hometown feel of a small bank with everything you'd expect from a big bank. Don't get that at yours? Come on over with me to First National Bank of Middle Tennessee on Gateway and Memorial Boulevards. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Dr. Russell McKissick of Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance talks about the grassroots effort in our local schools to ensure proper care for players.
To make sure our teams are covered here locally, be there for our trainers. Yeah, it's a passion that we have to try to take care of our athletes here in town and be there just to keep everybody playing as healthy and as best they can.
From a community standpoint, one of the most important things you do at TOA, I'd guess.
I think it's definitely a way to pay back to our community, just to be there for them and watch some great sports too.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance, TOA, live your best life.
The Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the show brought to you by Ideas Tees, who will be happy to help you fulfill all of your imprinted apparel, embroidery, and advertising specialty needs. You can find out more at ideastees.com. John Dinkin's back with me, and we have Steve Carter, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines. And Coach, before we get into basketball discussion, there was a little, a snippet of on Channel 5 about your dad, and Danny was talking about that before we got early this morning, and I kind of wanted to talk about it because he was very instrumental in junior pro in the Smyrna Laverne area, and you tell me that you were part of one of those teams, but tell me what that was about. I missed that, and I hate that I did.
Yes, sir. I think News Channel 5, they do some, they revisit some old clips and they pull them up and they show them again. And it was a story back from 1989, which was my 12-year-old year. Now, truth being told, I wasn't a very good football player. We had three tight ends that we ran plays in with, and I was one of them. And that year we was undefeated, unscored on. And we won the championship that year, and only our defense never got scored on. Our offense got scored on a few times, and they just came in and did a story on them and the program and what he's meant for the town of Smyrna. And then they also had my mom over there on the sideline. You heard her on that piece yelling, "Go Dogs." She was a big instrumental piece of that football story as well, because you got to have a big support system when you're coaching as much as my dad did for 40-plus years.
40 years, that's just unbelievable. But it really, it spearheaded a lot of the success that Smyrna had over the years in terms of, they had one of the better junior pro leagues around anywhere.
Yes, sir. I think they had it figured out. He worked really close with Coach Powers and some of those guys over at Smyrna Middle School. Sometimes because they didn't have a lot of time to run through tryouts and things, they may have missed an athlete, and my dad would reach out to him and say, hey, you may want to take a look at this kid. And then Coach Powers and some of those coaches as well would say, hey, we think y'all could benefit from going over here and getting a little bit more playing time and experience with Coach Carter and his wonderful staff that he had. And then so they just kind of paved the way for it, and they ran a lot of the same stuff as well. So I think that's instrumental in starting the program. And you see a lot of the programs now where Murfreesboro has a lot of youth football leagues that are tied in with the actual high school program as well.
Yeah, and I know some of the smaller schools, they have the Eagleville MTCS. I think they run theirs, and they get them in there in kindergarten kind of, and they run them all the way to the 12th grade. And we saw that with their championship. I think 4 of them had been playing football at MTCS since the first grade. So it's pretty amazing. What got your dad interested in that? I mean, that's quite an obligation to take over. I mean, did he just the love of it? He just loved it.
Yes, sir. I think that and his closeness with Coach Rakes, and how he was so passionate about both sports and Smyrna football as well. And so years ago when it first started, it was the Smyrna Laverne Youth Football League. And then as the cities grew and they branched off, Laverne had their own league, Smyrna had their own league. And so, yeah, it was a big chance for him to make an investment in the youth. And he would always have the players come over and spend the night on Saturday nights and took them to church on Sunday morning. And then we'd always come back and have a cookout and play football. And at the end, before everybody got their ride, my mom, while she was still able to do it, would run around and kiss all the boys on the cheek before they left. And what she would have to do is she'd have to catch maybe one fast guy when he wasn't paying attention. And once he got him, he was able to help corral the rest of them. They all got a kiss on the cheek before they left.
That's an amazing story, and he did it not looking for accolades for sure. I'm so glad that they honored that with that piece, but he definitely didn't. I don't think when he started it that he had any idea. He was just trying to help young kids.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
And I guess we have to give Mom a lot of credit too there too.
Absolutely.
I guess, and we don't. And sometimes, Coach, we forget that some of these kids come from broken homes, and maybe football is the only thing they have for them. That had to be a real a need that was filled for a lot of these kids.
It was, and I think it spoke volumes of both Mom and Dad both. When Dad passed away, there was probably 1,000 people that came through the funeral home, and we knew the impact he had. But when we lost Mom 2 years ago, and there was just as many people that came through, and I don't think we've seen her impact as much as what we've seen with Dad, but everybody knew Mama Carter and spoke highly of her, and so it just we was blessed with what we had.
And not to belabor the point, but when you talk about Smyrna football, and I notice at their games they always have these huge crowds that come, and the alumni, and I think that's all tied in with starting at such a young age.
Yes, sir, and that's one of the things that we're trying to change over at Laverne. The guys have started off really well this year, and they're packing the stands for them. And, we're trying to tell them to come out and support the girls' team as well, because we're working extremely hard and got a good bunch of youthful talent. And so we're trying to make some headways there. But, yes, the outside support and the alumni coming in, that's big when you're trying to build a program up.
When you talk about your girls being young, and they're very, very, very young, a lot of times, where does that show up? The youthfulness. Where does that show up? Is it the scoring? Because I know you can teach them to play defense, but a lot of times it's hard to score offensively when you're young.
Yes, sir. It comes with experience, and it's different. We had a really big crowd, the Cane Ridge game, because it was a Friday night game. A lot of times the Tuesday night games are not as don't have as many people in the stands, but Friday night a couple weeks ago when we played Cane Ridge was a big crowd. And if they're not playing over the summer in AAU, or if they're not playing in team camps and stuff like this year we was able to do, they're not getting that exposure that they need. And sometimes when the lights get bright, they tend to shy away and lose some of the focus that they have.
Well, you had a big win against Antioch last night, and I know that was was a satisfying win, and the fact that you got a win under your belt.
Yes, sir. Started off extremely fast. I'm a big hit him in the mouth early, and that's kind of comes from coaching football with my dad, and I think it correlates well with basketball as well. You got to set the tone early. We did that last night. Played great team defense and made some shots when we needed to, and really got up and guarded the entire first half. Now the second half we started slow. They hit some shots. And then we tried to sub. We got a couple of players that are dealing with some minor injuries that they're just dealing with, trying to play through. So we didn't finish as strong as what I would like to. We still hadn't played 4 quarters yet, but we're young, and hopefully we can figure out to get that going here soon.
And that, again, playing 4 quarters, that's part of youth too.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you may play great for the first and third quarters, but the second and fourth may not be so great.
Yes, sir. And we got some kids that are stepping up. I've got a young lady, Kavana Wilson, last night. She took 2 charges. And that's what I've tried to tell them. I'm an old school guy. That's a tone setter. When your teammates see you stepping up, willing to sacrifice your body and take a charge, it's a big momentum swing, and it really got us going both times that it happened. I felt like we went on a 4-0, 5-0 momentum swing, where we just really dug in and played that much harder.
We're talking to Steve Carter, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines, winners last night over Antioch. And, Coach, we won't get to talk to you. This will be our last time until after Christmas. But tell us a little bit what you've got next week, and maybe talk a little bit about the upcoming schedule you've got for the Christmas holidays.
Yes, sir. We go to Columbia Central next Tuesday night, and then we're at Nolensville on Friday night. So it's Columbia Central 7-1 right now, and Nolensville has got a good ball team, very athletic, good shooting ball team. So, and then for the post-Christmas tournament, we're going to Richland High School for the 27th through the 29th. That schedule's not been set yet, but we're branching out, playing a lot of good teams. For Thanksgiving, we went and played Pickett County and Smith County. We went to Pickett County and played Smith County and Moore County. Some smaller schools, but had some really good shooting teams. Yeah. And it's really been a good challenge for our girls. We're playing some teams that we've not seen before that we won't see, but some teams that shot the basketball really well. So our competition early on has been stiff, and that's the way I like it, because our district this year is extremely tough. So I think it's going to get us headed in the right direction and prepare for what we have coming after Christmas.
You haven't backed away from anybody on your schedule, and that's a good thing to see. Coach, when you mentioned like AAU and those kind of things, and you promote that because that's kind of playing and getting that extra time in that ordinarily they're not going to get in a high school schedule, and it's particularly the ones that have not played very much beforehand.
Yes, sir. Well, they gotta get in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I think this generation has changed from what
Amen.
we were accustomed to. My coach got tired of me staying after practice, so he finally left me a basketball and said, just put it in your locker and keep it for practice tomorrow. I would stay in the gym anywhere and get from 250 to 500 shots after practice. And then if Coach told us we was going to open the gym in the morning, we were there. This generation is built different, and that's something I think all coaches are trying to break. My girls have done a fantastic job. We had a great summer. We get in the gym Thursday mornings for an hour before school, get extra shots up. Sometimes they'll message myself or one of my assistant coaches, and they'll get in there 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 5 minutes before school starts, and they'll open the gym and get the gun out. So they're working. And it's just trying to change that and making sure that they're doing something in the off season, especially during the summer when they tend to get a little lazy.
Last 2 or 3 years, you all have put out a pretty good team, and you had some seniors and that kind of thing. When you look at it and this coming season, are you expecting somebody to kind of take over that leadership role that some of those seniors had?
I've got a captain, and I named a co-captain kind of late, Trinity Ryan, and she's one that the boys coach told me the other day that she's improved dramatically since her freshman year, because this is only my second year, so I was not around watching her develop as a freshman. But last year she came along. This year she's shooting the ball extremely well, and she's starting to take charge in practice. When she sees things not going right or people not putting in the maximum effort that they need to, she's stepping up in that leadership role and saying something to them, and they're listening. And so it's been neat to see her growth. And again, she's only a junior, so my expectations for her the rest of this season, next year, are through the roof.
You know, it's unbelievable
how some kids are just able to take on a role like that, and even sometimes it's hard for a coach to even figure out who that is. And looks like you're heading in the right direction. And a big win last night.
Yes, sir. When I talked to her yesterday, she said, "Coach, I'm locked in," and that's all I needed to hear.
Amen. That's awesome. All right, Coach. Have a great Christmas. Try to get a little rest, or enjoy the holidays a little bit.
Yes, sir.
All right, that's Steve Carter, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines. Big winners last night, and when we continue, we'll be talking to Jessica Southern of the Oakland Patriots here on the Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, brought to you by Sir Pizza, whose 3 Murfreesboro locations after a huge selection of mouth-watering pizzas, sandwiches, pastas, and wings. Order your favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com.
How about a fix for your sweet tooth? Donut Country is open 24 hours a day to cure your cravings. They've been serving up the freshest donuts in Murfreesboro since 1978. There's just something different about donuts from Donut Country. Bo and Cindy Davis and their wonderful staff will greet you with a smile, and you'll see all donuts aren't created equal. Fresh donuts anytime you want them, 24/7 at Donut Country on Memorial down from Clark. And they're open each morning on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. Check out their Facebook page for specials and promotions. Nothing else compares to Donut Country. Open 24 hours.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
This is a paid legal ad.
When a family member is lost as a result of someone else's negligence, the grief can be unbearable. It also leaves you with a lot of questions like, how did this happen? Who's responsible? And is my family going to be okay? That's a lot to go through, but with the law offices of John Day on your side, you don't have to go through any of it alone. We understand what you're going through, and we have the experience to get the answers, justice, and compensation your family deserves. Call the law offices of John Day.
This is Primetime Sports, WGNS Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com. The Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And this portion of the show brought to you by Bowen's Body Shop. From dings and dents to full body work, trust Jeff and Kyle Bowen to do the job right. They're located on Middle Tennessee Boulevard. John Dinkins back with you again here with Jessica Southern, the head coach of the Oakland Lady Patriots. And where have you been, girl? I haven't seen you live yet.
Last time it was my birthday, so I was out of town. And
21. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so same for today.
You guys stay busy now. It used to, Saturday was kind of a day off, but now it's more like more basketball, isn't it?
Yes, for sure. I'll definitely be digging into some film here shortly to prepare for next week.
Let's talk a little bit about the Oakland Patriots. And last night, a tough loss. Tell us the status of the Oakland Patriots in terms of your personnel, making sure everybody's healthy. And I know you've had to rebuild a little bit because you lost some really talented players last year.
Yes, for sure. That's something that Brian and I talked about last time, just with our youth as far as floor experience. We have some upperclassmen, but with our returners, we only have a few that really have true floor experience. With that, we have some injuries as well that we were hoping to have back now that we don't. And then since we talked a few weeks ago, we've had some additional injuries to that. But with this, kind of just using it as growing moments and giving other players experience that I think will help us in the long run.
Yeah, and I would think you want them to be healthy when you start playing district games. I would think that's probably the most important thing to look at this point of the schedule.
Yes, for sure.
You started. You're 3-5, if I'm right here, but you've won.
That is correct.
You had a game of 3 straight wins, and now you're into 2 losses. So, would it be fair to say that it's been kind of up and down right now so far?
Yes, that's exactly right. Like I said, with our our younger kids that don't have as much floor experience, and just the general newness of our team with not having everybody even this summer, with kind of swapping people, like some people that we had this summer we have now, the people that we had this summer we don't have now. So just really figuring out who fits where for us and everyone finding their roles. So that's been an adjustment and growing moments. That's what something that we talked about the first few games. You know, we dropped our first 2 games against Oklahoma and Columbia, but it kind of pushed us and put people in places that they hadn't been yet. And that's just what, I've kind of been saying, or has kind of been my term, that like growing moments aren't fun, but they'll be worth it in the end.
And Jessica, you haven't shied away from tough opponents either. I mean, your schedule's pretty, and upcoming is pretty imposing too in the next couple of weeks.
Yes, for sure. Our losses, we have losses to Coffee, Upperman, and York, as well as Columbia and Tullahoma, which I feel like those first 2 games were a little nervousness that I feel like if we played them again, that would definitely be those would be better games for us. But our recent losses are Coffee County, Upperman, and York. Those are our 2 from this week, some really talented teams that have a lot of options, can go inside, can drive it, shoot it, and to have some really good players on their team. But with that, even though, like last night, York got out real quick, the Beatty girl kind of went off, hit 2 threes, off step back, off screens, and everybody's kind of like, But I will say, overall, our effort and energy, even though the scoreboard was reflecting the way it was, that we played hard. We saw some highlights. We saw some growth, saw some changes and some different things that we didn't see a few weeks ago.
Well, and when you talk about the schedule and you've been kind of up and down, it's that way during a game too, isn't it, when you're young? I mean, you might have a really solid quarter, then you might have a quarter that you wish you had back. I mean, that's just kind of the way it works with young players. Yes,
I think so. That start off, really well, or start off kind of bad and kind of transition and find, your good moments throughout the game, and working to put together 4 quarters, offensively and defensively, is something ultimately that you want to get into once you get deep into season, and that's something that we're still working through.
When you what's the timetable maybe getting some girls back? I know you were thinking you might have them back now, but it's been delayed a little bit, next week or 2 maybe?
I think so. We're just waiting on some follow-ups at the doctor, kind of like just the general timeline of it. And then there's a few others that I'm not sure that we will get back. We've got a hand injury that we got in the Coffee game, and not sure exactly what that time frame will be.
Well,
another knee injury as well.
We're talking to Coach Jessica Southern, head coach of the Oakland Patriots. And Jessica, when you talk about some of them may not come back and that kind of thing, I guess it only enhances the chances for other girls to step up and play. And it's part of the game, isn't it? I mean, injuries happen. It's just part of it.
Yes, that's something that Brian and I talked about last time, just with injuries. They're going to happen. You don't know who, you don't know when, don't know what exactly, and that it gives opportunity for someone that might not would have played a lot this year or a lot, at the beginning of season, to get that experience, which will help us in the long run late in season, or if someone gets in, even if they are back and they get in foul trouble, but it's like, she played this position when she was hurt, or she played this position for us in this game, just giving them the opportunity to grow, not only for this year, but for next year, especially for our younger kids.
A district is just around the corner, district play, and I know it's going to be, I think, kind of interesting. I've noticed the same theme. There are a lot of girls' teams that are really young. I mean, just about every one of them, including Blackman, who's running through some injuries right now as well. But there's a lot of youth out there. I think it's going to be an interesting season.
Yes, I think so. It's going to be competitive as always. Our district has always been competitive. Even, before I was here, that I feel like it's one of those things you got to bring it every night, no matter who you're playing. You can't be like, oh, it's just so-and-so, like we can just show up to play, but everybody plays hard. Our district with the girls are talented as well as the coaches. Our teams are coached well, so we just got to make sure that we come ready to go night in and night out.
Yeah, I was looking at the schedule for the year, and with 5 teams, you're sitting there going, okay, I play Blackman this week, and then maybe another game. Then you might play them the next week, or you might play Riverdale. I mean, it really flies by to that month of January.
Yes, was definitely an adjustment when we dropped from our 8 teams on the recut when we moved to 4 classes, and it's usually like, we played Blackman, Tuesday night, and we have 3.5 weeks, to prepare for them. We have 6 games before we see them again. Now it's like, okay, we played them this week. We've got 4 games, 3 games to prepare for them before we see them again. So it definitely shortens the window as far as turnaround to make adjustments or changes or, scheme or, scout or do anything differently. But I think it's good for us, as a district, for postseason when we're seeing those better teams back to back, as far as preparation goes.
Again, the district starts in January, but I was sitting there thinking with Oakland, with the schedule you're playing and that kind of thing, it makes a huge a difference getting as many girls in as you can. Who's been somewhat of a surprise for you as you've started this the pre-district schedule?
I feel like it's been a kind of a balance of things, just like we were talking about growing and youth and not as much floor experience. Maya Nash has been well for us on offense and defensive end. She's leading us in scoring right now. She didn't really play a whole lot for us. She dressed with us last year. She's been good for us offensively. Khalees Bass kind of growing into her leadership role as point guard. She started and played for us all last year, but with Sutton and Cole out front, she never really had to handle the ball, so she's kind of figuring that out and figuring out, ways to score. And then Phillips inside has been good for us as well. We've just got to look to make sure that we get her more touches. And then our other guards, Cadence and Kyla, Joy, and Winowski, have been good for us, getting downhill, getting rebounds, and even Alora as well, which she's the other one that has dressed since she's been there, hasn't played a ton, but still, figuring it out, but being able to get downhill and create and do some different things.
Well, tell us a little bit about your Christmas schedule, because we're not going to talk to you again until after January, till after Christmas is over. Tell us what you've got planned coming up during the holidays.
Yes, we're going to Gallatin to their pre-Christmas. We play them in Hendersonville. Us and the boys are both going together there. And then post-Christmas, we're going to try to go to Charleston again. As you know, last year we were kind of caught in the flight cancellations for the holidays, and we weren't able to go. So the plan is to go to the Carolina Invitational post-Christmas. We play the 28th through the 30th, and we play 3 different teams out of state. We play a team out of Ohio, play a team out of North Carolina, and I think the other one is out of South Carolina, our 3rd game over there.
That's going to go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
That's going to be really quite an experience for the young ones, isn't it? I mean, getting all that, the plane and all this kind of thing, that's a great experience for those kids.
Yes, for sure. That's something that since I've been here with Shelby, that, our Christmas tournament, even if it's not, traveling far, but being able to go somewhere for them to have some time on the court, off the court, in a different environment has been big for us as far as like team building, team bonding, like them really just getting to know each other. And I feel like last year, since we didn't have that experience that we probably needed, I think that would have helped us collectively in the long run last season. So I'm excited for these girls to have that opportunity with the fact that since we didn't go last year, it's been 2 years since we've taken a trip. We went to Panama City 2 seasons ago. So really the seniors and the one junior that dressed with us freshman year are the only ones that have been on, a big trip. So I think it's exciting for them to have that opportunity and really to be, like I said, bond and do things off the court as well as, play some basketball, play some good competition.
Well, Jessica, it's good talking to you again today, and good luck over the holidays and basketball, but also have a really great Christmas, and we'll see you back here in January.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
All right, that's Jessica Southern, the head coach of the Lady Patriots of Oakland. When we come back, we're going to be talking Stewart's Creek basketball as we continue with the Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. And this portion brought to you by Craig's Tax Service, specializing in personal and business tax preparation, financials, and bookkeeping services. Find out more at craigstaxservice.com.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We'd like to welcome you to our door.
Whether you have a quarter acre or several, Las Casas Feed Supply has premium feeds and dog foods you can't find in box stores.
Nutrition is our specialty here at Las Casas Feed.
Plus, every Saturday morning they have a local producer-only farmers market with fresh vegetables, beef, pork, and more.
Customer service expertise that exceeds your expectations.
Family owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, Las Casas Feed Supply on Barlow Lane, just off Highway 96 East in Las Casas.
If your job situation is changing because of layoffs or restructuring, you may have to make several decisions. One important decision may be what to do with your retirement plan. Make sure your retirement stays on track. I'm Lee Colvin, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I'd like to help. Stop by our office in the Public Shopping Center on South Rutherford Boulevard or give us a call at 615-907-7056 for a face-to-face appointment. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air.
Whether it's the blazing heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter, let the Rheem Pro professionals at Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Conditioning on West College Street keep your home or business comfortable year-round. We service all major brands and in most cases offer same-day service. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air, your Rheem Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Rayburn Insurance in Smyrna.
Come see me, Rick Hall, at Rayburn Insurance in downtown Smyrna today.
Online at rayburn.net.
Head over to J. Mullins Jewelry to check out their selection of rings, watches, custom design jewelry, and much more. They're a local business located at 352 West Northville Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro. They have gifts for all occasions, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, whatever you need, you can find it at J. Mullins Jewelry. That's at 352 West Northville Boulevard or online at mullinsjewelry.com.
Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
The Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
This portion of the show brought to you by State Farm agents Andy Womack, Bud Morris, Dana Womack, Celeste Middleton, and Emerson Williams. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. John Dinkins back with you here on the Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, along with Dalton Barrett. Glad you're here today, Dalton. Glad you made it. Sloan Starkey is our guest here, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Lady Redhawks. And we've already kind of done our introductions, and I thought you made a great point for a new coach.
Okay.
Trying to remember all the names of everybody that you're in touch with.
Yeah, I got a lot of names.
That's
swimming
parents,
around my head.
that's other teachers,
Yeah.
that's
players. The players are laughing at me because I keep getting names mixed up on the team.
Right. It's overwhelming. I don't think anybody's ever been honest enough to tell me that, but that's got to be an issue when you first get here.
Oh, yeah. And then we got a set of twins. And so just Autumn and Ashley, it took me a month to figure out which one was which. And then as soon as I had it figured out, I realized, nope, that's wrong. So lots of names swimming around.
Yeah, you have to get some kind of if one wears them with a curl in the hair or something.
Yeah. Well, they do have a system. One of them wears black shoes and one of them wears white shoes.
Okay,
so there you go.
All right,
Yeah.
but you had the problem of just not knowing either one of them.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
Stewart's Creek's known for some twins. They've had a couple of twins
Have they
that
really?
played before that were really, really good.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Cool.
they're playing college ball now. But
Love that.
Coach, off to a pretty good start. I'm impressed up to this point, but
Okay.
I know as a coach you're going to tell me that there's things to do.
Oh, yeah,
things to
always.
do. But you had a big win over Gallatin. That was a squeaker. Let's talk about that
Was
one
a
last night.
squeaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking on the way up here, if there was a win, loss, and lucky column, we ended up in the lucky column last night. Told the girls we did not deserve to win last night. We did not come prepared to play. Shout out to Gallatin. They were ready to play, and, with the exception of 2 free throws, they deserved to win the game last night. So, yeah.
You have games like that, though,
Sure,
that
yeah.
and a very low-scoring game. But what I'm
Yeah.
seeing from your Red Hawks, it appears that the games that I've looked over, it seems like defense is big part of your game.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We've struggled to score just because there is so much of an emphasis on defense. And we've done a fairly good job on defense. Our game against Central Magnet, man, our girls just tore it up. They played really hard on defense. Bria Van, number 22 for us, man, she did her thing. It was a beautiful thing to see. And then Layla Wilder also. Central Magnet has a really good scorer, number 22. I can't remember her name, but she's dangerous.
Yeah.
And Layla and Bria just absolutely locked her up. So that was beautiful to see.
And people go, I know there's different classifications there, but Central Magnet girls are really, really good. I mean,
Yeah.
they for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And that was a big, impressive win. When you talk about, I guess we talk about the defense, but you've had some girls. Tell me something that's kind of surprised you so far in their play, and some people that have kind of stepped up that you didn't necessarily know, because coming in you really didn't know how they were going to respond in games.
Yeah, I didn't know much about. I mean, obviously, I watched the film from last year, and I saw them play at the MTSU camp, so I had my ideas. I think my biggest surprise is just kind of the personality types. I didn't necessarily expect some of the personality types that have been on display in the team, but in terms of like play, for the most part, I say everybody's kind of playing what I expected them to play. I know we have a young lady who's playing really well for us now that did not necessarily get off to a good start. Derry, she comes off the bench for us, and earlier in the season, she was struggling a little bit, and last night she played really well. She's actually put 3 good games together for us coming off the bench. So I don't necessarily know if that's a surprise, but she's doing a good job playing that role. I think she's starting to understand that role. And then maybe other surprises would be Bria Van is doing a really good job scoring for us. She's our best on-ball defender, and that's kind of what we rely on her to do. But she's also knocking down threes and scoring and getting to the rack. So maybe a little bit of an unexpected situation there.
I know Stewart's Creek have always been known for defense and running the ball up the floor, that kind of thing. Are you guys doing that again this year?
Defense for sure. Yeah, defense. We're gonna practice defense every day. We're gonna determine what defense we need to win games for sure. That's obviously very important for us. And then as far as trying to get the ball up the floor, yeah, for the most part, but that doesn't mean that we can't switch it up. We're just going to take things possession by possession, and if we can go 100 miles an hour, we're going to go 100 miles an hour. But if we need to slow it down to a crawl, we can do that as well, as what we're trying to do.
Everybody that I've talked to, it seems like this is the year of youth, where everybody's had. Okay. You might have 1 or 2 seniors, but a lot of people in this district, in your district, kind of dependent on a lot of youth. Is that the case with Stewart's Creek?
Yeah, we're junior heavy for sure. Just the 2 seniors, the twins that I mentioned earlier. There are 2 seniors, So yeah, we could fit that category of being young. Yeah.
And I guess the adjustment of having a new coach and that kind of thing, but it appears that they've bought in with what you're selling, and and sometimes that can be difficult.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think mentally, they're bought in.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, like physically, there's some habits from years past. I know the Twins. They've been under the same coach for 3 years, and you can tell there's a little bit of like they're having to bend more than others to get acclimated to the new things.
And it's not a bad thing. You're talking about, it's not like they're questioning.
Yeah, no, not at all.
But they're like going, I've done that before.
Yeah. By the time you're a senior in high school, you have things that you do on repeat that just come naturally to us, to you. And so to try to point those things out and say, hey, look, this is what you're used to doing, but let's do it this way. They're in. They're in. It's just a matter of just getting those reps in.
How hard has it been for you to? And somebody may have asked this question last time we talked, but last time they talked with you. But how difficult has the transition for you been? Smooth? I mean, you're moving family, that kind of thing. How has that been? And then now you're into the real thing now.
Yeah, man, God has been so good to me and my wife. The decision to move from Texas to Tennessee was huge. A massive decision, and God has just been there every single step of the way. And when you make big decisions like that, you just question it. Is this right? Is this right? But there's been so many things that are just none other than a sign from the Lord that this was the right move. So it's been nothing short but incredible. Loved it.
I know your principal is top notch, and He's like I always kid him. He said, "You're like a big kid. You go to the games and you're up there with the kids yelling and screaming." And but that's kind of refreshing, I think, in this day and age, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. The kids love him. To see the support and do him doing his thing during the pep rallies was awesome. It was funny because people had told me before I took the job that Dr. Harrell was a rock star. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And then I found a pep rally from last year. I guess it's an annual pep rally called the Move Up Pep Rally, where the freshmen move to the sophomore section.
Gotcha.
The sophomore section. Well, then it turns into a concert led by Dr. Harrell. He's literally the lead singer, and it's like a cover band situation that they just have a concert. So when people told me he was a rock star, I didn't know they were literally a rock star. But he's been awesome. Yeah.
And I know you've enjoyed the girls and that kind of thing, and it's a daunting task sometimes to move and get a coaching staff and figure out who's gonna stay with you, who doesn't, that kind of thing.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I'm not adjusting to very well. This daggum coach's box is driving me nuts.
None in Texas.
No.
Oh, yeah.
There is a designated coach's box in Texas, but it is not enforced like it is here.
Yeah.
And I am really struggling with this. It does not make any – I hope the other coaches are in with me on this, because this is something I would love to change, because it's not making any sense to me.
Yeah.
Why is it the designated area for coaches is like a 12-inch space directly in front of your coaches or directly in front of your players on the bench to where they cannot see, and now you become a risk of running into the players on the court or running into the referee. It's driving me nuts. And in fact, we had a play at where was our last game? I'm losing the name of the school. Riverdale. At Riverdale, we have a design play on the sideline where we're trying to get the ball to the corner, and we could not get the ball to the corner because the coach is standing in the way.
Yeah.
But he's standing in his designated area, the coach's box. So it doesn't make any sense to me why, as a coach, we cannot stand in the wide open space that is between the scores table and the first chair of the bench. That's just historically where I've stood, and I don't understand why that's
I can't answer that
here.
question other than I think maybe somebody abused something, but I don't really know why that would have been a problem. They didn't do it when I coached.
Okay.
So, but that's been many years ago. Yeah. So they do that in Texas. Okay, good. They're just kind of
well, in 10 years of coaching, it has been enforced one time. It was at a tournament. I was actually an assistant coach, and before the game started, they had put tape down on the floor indicating where the coach's box is. That's once in 10 years.
Wow.
Other than that, I've never, ever had a referee say anything about a coach's box.
I can't wait to do one of your games. I want to see you. I want to see you in that designated box.
If you pay close enough attention.
In fact, we're going to be at, I think, Blackman. You play them next week.
Let's go.
Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday.
Yeah, we're going to be there, so we'll get to see you live and in action. Quickly, time has flown by. Quickly, your holiday, because we're not going to talk to you again for after Christmas. So tell us a little bit about what you've got planned over the holidays and the break.
Yeah.
And I guess you inherited this a little bit where you're going. So
we're gonna go play the Carrot Malone games, Carrot Malone Super games at Lebanon. Excited for that, and then we're also gonna play Clarksville Academy, their classic, and forgive me for not knowing exactly who we play. I know we play Brentwood Academy, I think Northwest, and I can't remember the other team.
I'm surprised you can even name them because
Really?
I mean you don't know you really don't know any of them. It's kind of a unique thing. Well, good luck over the holidays.
All right.
It's a pleasure talking to you today. Next, when you come back, you'll be talking to Danny. So
all right.
Danny
Okay.
Brewer.
Danny
I'm
Brewer.
helping you a little bit, okay?
All right, good.
That's Sloan Starkey, the head coach of the Stewart's Creek Redhawks. They are off to a really nice start, 6-3 on the year, and they're going to be at Blackman on Tuesday night. We'll be covering that game right here on News Radio WGNS. And that is Coach Starkey. And coming up, I got to look. Dalton, I'm sorry. I just do. It's Bill Hockenberry. I'll have him on the air, head coach of the Rockville Rockets. This portion of the show brought to you by Parks Auction Company. Let their team of experienced and professionally trained staff utilize the auction process to sell your property. Find out more at parksauction.com.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here, and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
Meet Little Caesar's Thin Crust Pizza with toppings all the way to the edge and a crispy crust.
I love you, Cindy. Sorry, but that commercial voice guy was right. I only love thin crust.
Ouch, Billy. Put on your fancy pants and sashay into Little Caesar's for the Fanceroni Pepperoni. With over 100 crispy old-world pepperoni and cheesy crust edge, you'll be saying fancy words like indubitably or crochet. Walk in and walk out for only $9.99.
Little Caesars in Murfreesboro on Memorial, Warrior Drive, South Rutherford, and Old Fort.
Pizza, pizza.
Parks Auction. We handle everything.
You have a staff that comes to your home. They tell you what to do. They walk you through it. It's been my experience that what I thought I should get for my home, I got much more for it.
Visit our website at parksauction.com.
Hi there,
Parks Auction, 896-4600. Stan Vaught and the Parks Auction team are proud supporters of local high school and MTSU sports.
Sold it to you.
The Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And we welcome you back here to the Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. And joining me here today on Girls' Day is Bill Hockenberry, the head coach of the Rockville Lady Rockets. And Bill, you're off to a good start. We'll talk about that a little bit, and then we'll talk about later all the activities you've got going on at Rockville. But you're off to a really good start.
Yes, John, appreciate you having me on this morning. And we're off to a pretty good start this season. We had a really good week this past week. We went to Beach Tuesday night and beat a really good Beach team. 15 or 13 points. Played really well. Had some really good play from a lot of different people. And then last night came back and played a really good Nolensville team who had just played a really good game against Stewart's Creek. And, we're starting to click a little bit. We got off to a really good start. We got up 20-0 to start the game and just kind of cruised from there.
It's good to get off to a good start, but I think right now you're just kind of basically trying to see who fits in, who comes off the bench, who's better coming off the bench.
starters really don't mean a whole lot to you, really. I mean, I know you the last few years you've played gone 10, 11, 12 deep at times.
Yes, John. We put 5 out there to start the game. And I've stressed this to our girls, and the minutes are distributed throughout 10, 11, 12 kids. We feel like it's a 200-minute game, and we're just dishing out different minutes to different people. On one night somebody might play 15 minutes, the next night they might play 25. It just depends on the matchup. And the great thing about our group is we have a lot of different pieces that we can match up with, depending on if it's a faster team or if they have bigs or they have 5 guards or whatever it is. And we feel like we can match it every single night to give us an advantage.
Well, we've talked earlier about who you've got playing, but when you look at your bench, boy, you've got a lot of good action in the backcourt, up front. You're pretty solid. It starts with Murray, I guess, with being the steady senior now.
Absolutely. It's hard to believe she's a senior. Ever since I've been there, she's, started for me pretty much. And she's just our steady heartbeat. I think she's averaging right at 20 points a game and 10 rebounds a game this year. And, she does so many other things, deflection, steals. She's vocal. She gets us in the right positions. Her basketball savvy of seeing the floor and seeing who the open man is or open girl, and she's really developed into a really solid, really good player who I believe will sign somewhere on the Division I level.
Am I wrong? Excuse me. Am I wrong to assume that defensively y'all are playing much better than maybe in the past? Holding a lot of opponents. You beat Beach 56-43, and then Nolasville 58-43. If you can hold the opponents in the 40s, you got a really good shot to win.
Yes, John. And that's part of our success. That's part of our formula. On the defensive end, I feel like with the players that we have this year, we're able to match up a little bit more, playing a little bit more man to man. We still have all our zone defenses that we can throw at you, that different traps and different things. But I believe this year with this group and the versatility of being able to play man to man when we need to, I think that has made us a better defensive team this year.
Is that like quickness? I mean, you're kind of taking advantage of some of that, because I know you've got several girls in the at guard, and you can bring them in, and they can just keeping fresh bodies in there to play defense.
And that's part of the way we play. We want to keep throwing people in there because we feel comfortable playing 10, 12 deep. And a lot of the teams we play, they're playing 7, 8 players, and we feel like our depth is an advantage. We can wear you out over 4 quarters. Different people bring different things. We can go size up front with pressure on the ball. We can go length up front with on the ball. We can go bigger if we want to. And, we've got a couple of players that are hurt right now that might come back in January that might even give us even more depth.
And you've kind of built this over the years. I mean, you've kind of I know there were a couple of years it was kind of rough once you got past number 7, ready to look down there. But it looks like that problem's been solved. And how does a coach do that? Is just playing them young, getting them out there, put them on the bench, and let them kind of witness it all?
Absolutely, John. Honestly, what goes into that, we did, when I first got it, we had 6 ACL injuries the first year, or knee injuries. And 4 of them probably would have played a lot of minutes and maybe started for us. So we had to adjust, and we had some people that got minutes that got some experience. And every year we've gotten a little bit better. And I think this year with us having as many players that can play in this group, I think it goes back to culture. One of the things that we try to do in our program is we always go to the middle school game and support our middle school team, the Rockville Middle, the Ravens. I've been to 2 of their games already this year. We a lot of times as a team go over and watch them play, and I think that helps build that culture. They come watch us play. And I think that's kind of helped us have all 12 or 13 of these, 14 of these kids buy into the role that they're given, because they understand we do fight for each other. And I think that's taken years to build, and that's one reason we're having success this year.
And a lot of times you have to be kind of in coordination with the middle school coach, I would think, to kind of talk over what you kind of want when they get there. And the more preparation they have in middle school, the easier it is when they get to you.
Absolutely. We've had, I've had 3 middle school coaches since I've been there, and all 3 of them have been really good to work with. and do different things, and they're very supportive of what we're trying to do and trying to implement some things that we're trying to do. So I think that's one of the reasons we've had success.
5-1 coming off, and you haven't backed down from any opponent. And I think Page is the only loss you have so far.
Yes, John. In that game, we played really well at times. We got off to a slow start. We had been off 10 days for Thanksgiving. Got off to a little slow start in the first half. We got down 11 in the second quarter, and came back. We were up double figures in the fourth, and we had chances to win. We missed a few free throws. Kamari Murray made 2 free throws to put us up 1 with 8 seconds to go. And, but our team listened to everything I told them to do. We had a girl that drove on us. We didn't realize she was left-handed because she wasn't on film. And we forced her left, and she made a little roll, rolled one in as the buzzer sounded. And, Paige is really well coached. Randy Kaufman, everybody around here knows, won state championships at Riverdale. Paige is a really solid team. But I honestly think that was a turning point in our season because – our girls don't like losing, and it was very apparent the next day when we came into practice that we weren't going to lose the next game, and as we go forward, and that's a characteristic of this team that I feel like is going to really bode well for us as we continue on. Winning's a hard thing to do, and when you start getting that winning feeling, when you don't, you really want to get back out there and get that taste out of your mouth, and I think that's really helped us get over that. We had a really good comeback Friday night at Clarksville Northeast, scored almost 75 points. And then we went and played a really good beach team on the road and played really, really well in the third quarter. I think we scored 30 points just in the third quarter at Beach. And then last night, like I said, we got off to a 20-0 start. So we're starting to turn the corner and starting to get in the right direction.
Talking to Bill Hockenberry, the head coach of the Rockville Lady Rockets. And Bill, what's been the biggest surprise with this group, I guess, this year that you've seen, and maybe a couple individual people that you have picked their game up a little?
Well, surprises. I kind of felt like I knew what I had. I know for the people from the outside, there's been some really good people step up. And I want to just start off with 2 right off the bat: the Maritza Wright and her sister Isabella Wright, and I think those 2 give us a dimension that allows us our team to function the way it has. Both of them right now, I'm bringing them in off the bench. They could both start any night that we needed them to, but they bring in instant offense, defensive tenacity, and a will to win. And I think those 2 really epitomize what our team is about. We've already talked about Kamari Murray, Jade Watson. I think if you were at the Beach game on Tuesday night, you finally got to see the full Jade Watson. I think she had right at 20 points in the game and just took over in the third quarter. And that's the reason why Belmont University and Lipscomb University have offered her. She's got a different dimension that a lot of people don't have, especially as a freshman. We've also had, I thought last night, Kyla Crawford and Grace Ushery really stepped up big last night. One of the things we really emphasized early on last night was getting the ball inside, and we did, and we finished. And I was really proud of Grace and Kyla last night. One of our glues to our team, and John, we've talked about this, is Aiden Wilkerson. Mm-hmm. And she did not get to play with us on Tuesday night. He was out for Tuesday night, but came back last night. And one of the reasons we are successful is the glue of Aiden. Aiden's been with me now for 3 years. Her sister played with me for a couple of years. And one of the reasons we're able to have the success we have is Aiden Wilkerson.
You talked about they don't like to lose. That culture's been, I guess, really from day one with the Lady Rockets. I mean, I know with King, Coach King, and then you.
Yep.
And that's hard to kind of to get, and it's kind of a good thing that you guys have been able to establish that so early in the existence of the school.
Absolutely, John. Winning's the hardest thing to do in sports, and especially win consistently. We were lucky. My first year, we had a really breakthrough win against Stewart's Creek in the district tournament, but we also had some wins earlier in that season.
But wasn't that game the turning point?
It was
to really bigger and better things.
It almost like it kickstarted our program.
Yeah.
Because I think at that point we didn't know if we could beat the top 4 programs in the county. Just to be honest, I believed we could. I stressed it to those girls. But when we actually went out there and did it, and I think it was one of the most historic performances teams had in a tournament game, especially when we shot almost 85% for the game. And that Stewart's Creek team was ranked in the top 10 that season. They had just lost to the state champion Blackman by 1 that week before. I think that's what really kickstarted our program. It gave us the boost that we needed. It gave us the belief that we belonged. And I think ever since then, we've just kind of gradually gotten to the point where we are today.
Well, who have you got next week? Because tell me who you've scheduled.
Well, John,
when it comes to you, I never know. So here we go.
Well, today actually we're we've got which we'll get to here in a minute. We got a little Hall of Fame thing we're doing today at Rockville. We're the first class of the Rockville Athletic and Military Hall of Fame's going on today, this morning, starting at 9 o'clock out at Miller's Grocery. But once we get done with that, today we're actually getting on the bus and we're going to Jackson, Tennessee, to University School of Jackson, and we're playing Conway, Arkansas. They're the defending 6A state champion in Arkansas. Very, very solid team. I think it's going to really help us. I expect us to go down there and compete. I've been told there are between 20 and 30 Division I coaches going to be in attendance at this game today. We're really looking forward to it. I know our girls are excited. That's one thing last night we talked about, taking care of business last night. That's why I was so proud of them getting up 20-0 to start the game, because we take it one day at a time. But I know how excited they were about this opportunity today to go up to Jackson and play a team like Conway. And then next week, we got some really good things coming at Rockville next week. Next Tuesday night, we're hosting Tullahoma. And Coach Chad Hibden's coming back, and, I think the world of Chad, and he's done such a great job at all his stops, and we're looking forward to seeing him. And then next Friday and Saturday, we're hosting Tennessee Live. It's another showcase event where we've got 15 teams from 5 or 6 different states coming in. And even on Friday, this is going to be another great thing for our girls, John. This was a Steve Luker idea, and it's come to fruition. We're going to get to play Lake Region, Florida on Friday at 1 o'clock at Rockville Elementary in front of their student section. It's going to be kind of like our elementary day that MTSU puts on. Lake Region out of Florida is really excited about
that. Crowd will be intense.
It will be intense. It'll be intense. I know that their school is really excited about us coming over there and doing that. And then, we've got on Saturday, we're playing a team out of Georgia, Rayburn Gap. They're a really solid team. Now, their coach is Dale Earnhardt. I don't know if there's any kin to them, to the other Earnhardts or not. But we've got Blackman and Coffee County and Brentwood Academy and Independence. And we got a lot of schools from out of the state coming in. So we're really excited about this event we've got coming up next week.
That'll be a great event, and something that you can go to. It's local, and you can see a lot of good basketball, that's for sure. Bill, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I know you got a busy schedule today, but one last question. When do you sleep, or do you?
John, I like John Rothstein's tweets. We sleep in May.
Oh, May. That's Bill Hockenberry, the head coach of the Rockville Lady Rockets, 5-1 on the season this year. And good luck this afternoon, by the way, as
Thank
well.
you, John. We appreciate it.
Okay, that's Bill Hockenberry. Coming up next here on the Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, Coach Shutt of the Siegel Stars coming your way. Stay with us.
If you need concrete work done, who would I call? Dan France Concrete. Here's why. He's local. He attended Walter Hill Elementary, Oakland, and MTSU. He served our community as a school resource officer for 9 years, and he's involved in the community.
This is Dan with Dan France Concrete, wishing all Rutherford County student athletes a great season. Study hard, play harder, and be safe.
Dan France Concrete is a licensed and insured residential and commercial concrete construction contractor serving Middle Tennessee. Check out danfranceconcrete.com online to see some of their work.
Here's a question. What do you want from your electric co-op?
Fast response if the power goes out.
An app that keeps me informed. Tips to lower my monthly bill.
Communication on things that matter to me.
Done, 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 done.
I want to know everything.
Everything? Well, young lady, let me show you the MyMTE app. Energy Service Life. That's Middle Tennessee Electric. We're here to get done what
We're back here on the
most
Pretnice Alsup
to
Heating
you.
and
Learn more at mte.com.
We're talking now with Heather here at Carpets by Osborne. Tell us what it's like to work at a family business.
It's a lot of fun. However, it's a lot of work. Everybody has to pull their weight equally.
What do you think are some of the advantages of people doing business with a family business versus a corporate business?
We are here to answer all questions. We're responsible for scheduling jobs. We're not here to sell you material and pass you off to a list of installers.
Carpets by Osborne on Northwest Broad, next to Tire World.
The Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back here on the Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. This segment brought to you by Middle Tennessee Electric, serving our community by providing affordable, reliable, and safe electricity online at mte.com. And it's time to talk some Siegel girls basketball this morning. Coach Raymond Shutt joins us here. And, Coach, your Siegel Lady Stars have been on a tear here of late, off to a 6-2 start and a couple of wins here in the last week and over some teams like Mount Juliet and Summit. So you've had a really good week this week.
Yeah, it's been really good. Go to Upperman tonight. And Summit was really good shooting team. They had beat us earlier in the year at a pre-Thanksgiving Classic at Ravenwood, so it was good to sort of even the score with them, and we played them again next week. So and then Mount Juliet was one of those games where we made shots early, and vibes were good after that, and guarded them really well. So yeah, it's been good week for the Stars.
And Thursday, you got to avenge a earlier season loss to Summit. So it's always good to do that as well.
Oh, for sure. Coach Hal Murrow, I known of him for a little bit. He's been a boys coach for so long. I mean, they're really well coached. They play hard. And they've got some girls that every time even if they get the shot off, whether or not you know if it's going to go in or not, you're just like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah. I'm curious about this. So, you won Thursday night, 55-39. You lost to Summit 48-37. So, those look like two completely different games. You obviously scored a lot more points, which obviously helps. But, in less than a month, just a matter of a few weeks, a lot changed there. Are you getting more offensive production? Your defense obviously held a pretty good Summit team to only 39 points. So what do you think is the difference in those two games, I guess is my point.
Sure. Yeah, great question. First off, Yanni Young made 7 threes, and she did not make 7 threes the first game or anything close to it. But she's the one we want taking most of our shots from behind the arc. She about a month ago, probably about 2 weeks ago, she was shooting about 25% from 3. Now she, just in the span of 2 weeks, she is now shooting high 30s, maybe right at 40% from 3. And she's really just decided, hey, I'm just going to take the right ones. I'm not going to rush. We're not going to do many, unless it's in transition, we're not going to have many possessions where it's one pass and 3. Because not only does it's not a great shot for anybody, it's also one of our strengths offensively is offensive rebounding. But when our bigs run the floor hard and then we come down and jack a shot, they're not really motivated to go get a rebound. And I completely understand because but if it's coming off a movement and coming off some action that we're trying to get, that's a big difference. So I think our shot selection was much better. I think we had played the night before at Ravenwood and got a big win. I think we got a little comfortable and went back to Ravenwood to play Summit that first game at 1 p.m. They had to do the same thing. I know they had played them, so I'm not making excuses, but we did not handle that well. I did not put them in a good position to win. And then we had one girl out also that first game. I think they had a starter out as well. So, maybe that kind of evened the score a little bit. And then, we made some adjustments defensively. They made 11 threes the first game. So we were really trying to take that away. Did not do a great job of that in the first half. I think Coach Wyatt told me, he's sitting right by our bench, and he said, "Hey, they scored 19 points in the first half, and 18 of them 6-3. So now they still shoot a bunch of them, but I think just sort of some of the things we wanted to change as far as we're not going to guard them the same we guarded them last time, because that didn't work very well. But I think just our overall approach, played with an edge, was much better. And obviously playing at home is never a bad thing.
Well, you get to turn around and do it all over again next Friday. You've got Summit for a third time.
Correct. Yes. And again, we had talked earlier, Brian, and with this, as long as they're good games, I'm totally fine with playing teams multiple times and making adjustments and going against really good coaches. Because you can throw in some cupcakes and not challenge your girls, but that's not what I want to do. Our district is very challenging. Our non-conference schedule is very challenging. Practices need to be challenging, because if not, we're just wasting our time, and we want to make sure that we're putting these girls in tough situations in practice, tough situations in games. We want to make sure that we are prepared for everything. We want to, going into district play, we want to make sure that, okay, we've been up 10 before. How do we handle it? Okay, we got down 11-0 at Ravenwood, but we were able to settle in and come back. So we've been through that. Get up, if you get up big, up 20, you get down 20. Do you kind of roll over? Do you kind of just keep fighting? That's some situations that we just want to be in all before we get to district play.
We are talking Siegel girls basketball. Raymond Shutt joining us this morning. And you mentioned Young had 7 threes, 24 points last night. She's been a double-digit scorer and for you in I guess just about most of your games. So you really rely on her as well. But, I looked back over the scores from your most recent games, and you've had a different person be your leading scorer each time. So you're developing some depth there.
Absolutely. And we would still like to continue to develop some depth coming off the bench, but we do have a really solid core that plays with a lot of fight, that plays together, that's connected, and we want to stay that way. But my philosophy defensively, the way I was taught to coach is, hey, we want options 3, 4, and 5. Most high school teams are going to have 1 to 2 options that can really hurt you. And we want to make options 3, 4, and 5 beat us. Well, for us, options 3 and 4 are still pretty good. There's really not much difference between whatever our option 1 and 2 are. 3 and 4 is right there. Like, I know we talked, Jasmine Sneed led us at Centennial with 22. Secret Grissom had, I think she had about 16 and 10 at our first game against Laverne. So yeah, it's a good. I don't say it's a problem. It's a good thing to be well versed and to know, like, okay, well, let's say Yana's not making shots. First off, is our effort and the way we defend and rebound going to be there, or if it's not Yana, is it Izzy Hodge? Is it Fiona Mallory? Is it Jasmine Sneed? So yes, it's definitely a good thing going we have.
Yeah, Jasmine had 22 in your win over Centennial, and it's just maybe someone different stepping up. But one thing I have noticed in looking at your scores, you want to get some tough points. That's where Secret Grissom comes in.
Yes. I mean, yes, she does not get off the ground very high. Okay, it's no secret as far as but she is one of the best offensive rebounders I ever coached. Just because she understands positioning, she understands when to seal, when to screen. Ultimate team leader. Gallatin we were able to pull out a tough win against a good Gallatin team earlier in the year, and they made a really tough shot to put us in overtime. And before I can even get to them in the huddle, she's calming everybody down. Like, we're fine. We're going to be fine. Just great team leadership. Gets everybody locked in right before we're about to go over film, where we're about to go over the walk, whatever we're about to do with the walkthrough. So yeah, she's been a joy to coach.
Well, let's 6-2 start. I mean, that's a great start for your girls, and I know you want to continue to to build on that momentum? I mean, everything that you're doing now and have been working on since you've started on November 14th is to be able, when you start January 9th and through February, is to get into that tough district slate, which is just like going to a slaughterhouse sometimes, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, you look at scores and get film on some. Keep up with what's going on in your district, and I know we've got some teams that like us that at some point, that maybe injuries have caught up and this, that, and the other, and you go see some teams live, and it's just like, man, okay, they may be missing some pieces, but they're still really good, even, so it's still really athletic. And so it's, it is, like you said, slaughterhouse is a good term.
Well, you'll get to see some of those guys soon enough, but your schedule, you mentioned Upperman is your opponent today up on the plateau. And I noticed that they beat a pretty good PCA team last night by 5 and held them to just 31 points. So defensively, they must be pretty good as well.
They are really good. Was able to see them live earlier in the year, and it's just they do everything well. They don't. First off, they don't do anything to beat themselves. They're pretty athletic. They all shoot it just extremely well. They're like Summit, and that they take a lot of threes. But, okay, let's say, if they take a lot of threes, you want to make them drivers. Well, they got some girls that can really put on the floor, too. So it makes it really challenging. They've got a really strong culture. Their bench is active. They're very well coached. Obviously, she's been doing it a long time. So we really look forward to the challenge, because we know it's going to be a real tall task. But again, it's one of those things that you want to create adversity for your team. And this has, first round region, second round region type atmosphere written all over it, and how are we going to handle walkthrough? How are we going to handle the hour and a half bus ride? I do think our girls are pretty excited and up to task, after practice yesterday. So we are looking forward to tonight for sure.
Well, you've got not only Upperman today, but between now and next Saturday, you're playing 4 games. You're going on the road to Wilson Central, to Summit, and then you're playing over at Rockvale versus Pearl Cone next Saturday. So that really kind of has a tournament feel to it as well in terms of the number of games.
Exactly. Yes, trying to we did not do a sort of pre-Christmas classic, so this is our sort of our pre-Christmas classic, if you will. We've got at Wilson Central, going Summit again for the third time, and then at Rockvale versus Pearl, and all 3 of those teams are so different. So again, you're getting athleticism, you're getting a team that shoots it well. Wilson Central is solid, so it's really. We're going to really test us, going to test our legs. So we've got to make sure we're eating the right things, drinking the right things, getting enough sleep. So that's just, like I said, we don't want to schedule weak. We want to put our girls in some adverse conditions, and that's what we're doing.
The last game before Christmas is a home game versus Shelbyville. So finally be at home sweet home. And just want to let Seagull fans know we'll be out there to broadcast the games versus Shelbyville. And boy, that one was a tough 1-point loss there. So earlier in the season. So looking for maybe another revenge game, hopefully, and a really good Shelbyville team. So it should be a good night of basketball on the 18th. So looking forward to that. I did want to ask you, Coach, about Christmas. After Christmas, I think you've got something going on at CPA, I think.
Yes, we will be in CPA's next level tournament, and it is, really, really good competition on the boys and girls side. Really awesome event. I grew up in Kentucky, and some of the teams from Kentucky are coming down. Like, I'm okay. I've heard of that school. They're usually pretty good. And team out of Wisconsin, I've heard of them too. So it's again, just another challenge for us that we're really excited about. Again, tournament atmosphere. How are we going to respond to 3 games in a row? So we'll be ready for that one after Christmas.
Do you tell many people that you're from Kentucky?
Absolutely, yes, yes. Danny, I wanted to talk horse racing with Danny last time he opened up the question, but it was my first interview, so I decided I better stick to Seagull Girls basketball. I like talking Seagull Girls basketball, but I also like talking Churchill Downs as well.
Well, there you go. There you go. Well, you found a friend in Danny. That's for sure with
Absolutely.
that. Well, Coach, it's been a pleasure talking to you this morning. I do appreciate your time, and looking forward to seeing you a week from this coming Monday versus Shelbyville out at Siegel High School.
Mr. Bryant, thank y'all. Thank y'all for everything you do for high school sports. Have a good one.
You betcha. That is Coach Raymond Shutt, the head coach of the Siegel Girls, on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Carpets by Osborne. We'd love to help you complete any job, whether residential or commercial, carpet, tile, hardwood, vinyl, rugs, and much more online at carpetsbyosborne.com.
Whether you're a student, alumni, or just a fan, Raider Tees has exactly what you need to help you cheer on the Blue Raiders on game days and every moment in between. We sell officially licensed Blue Raider gear, whether it's clothing, hats, flags, chairs, or just whatever. We have it all, including exclusive gear you won't find anywhere else. Like us on Facebook for updates on new Blue Raider gear and special prices or discounts. For all your Blue Raider gear, shop Raider Tees today. Bigger, better, and go blue!
Pizza. You can now order Murfreesboro's favorite pizza online at sirpizzatn.com. We've made ordering online a breeze. From sirpizzatn.com, tap on the location nearest you and begin your order for carryout or delivery. You can order the Royal Feast, create your own, spaghetti, calzones, everything right from our online portal at sirpizzatn.com.
Sir Pizza, you made me love pizza again.
The Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
Back here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by Rick's Barbecue, serving up the best smoked barbecue and ribs, local favorites on Warrior Drive, locally owned and operated by Anne-Marie Brentz and the Lanning family. Time to talk some Eagleville girls basketball this morning, and Chris Lynch is back right from that trip to Santa Fe last night, where things went well on the road for the Lady Eagles. We're going to talk about that and the week that was, and look ahead to Christmas and all that kind of stuff too. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Had a very successful trip last night to Santa Fe, and that doesn't happen very often, does it?
No, and we already played them once this year, and they beat us by 1 at home. So we'd kind of marked that one on our calendar of a game that we wanted to play much better in. And so we got on the road and started out shooting pretty well. Brindley Bain hit 3 threes in the first quarter and was 3 for 3 and opened it up to a pretty early lead, and then they settled in. We were up 8 at halftime and then held them to 9 second half points. So we were led by Eliza McLaren with 18, and Brindley Bain had 12. Those were our 2 double-figure scores. She hit 4 threes last night. I think she was 4 for 8. And Shelby Mooneyham had a good night offensively and defensively. She had 9. So I noticed, I looked at the stats this morning, Isabella Sawyer had 11 rebounds. And Mia Thompson, she played really well. She's been playing really good defense, and 2 of her last games, she's had 12 assists and 1 turnover, which is a great stat. So she's really been handling the ball well too.
Yeah, sounds like it. And you know, I know that you couldn't have been happy, with the 1-point loss, feeling that you were better than that team. You really weren't shooting well, playing well, and that was early on in the season. You started off 0-3, and you've really kind of been on a bit of a roll, and even the loss over the Thanksgiving break to Sycamore was, 2-possession game. So, I mean, you've really kind of been putting things together here of late, it seems.
We've played, actually, I guess, since the last interview, we've been playing better at times, and in some cases we've played really good. We went on the road to Forest and played really well, especially in the first half. We were up 39-8, and we were pressing and getting in transition, getting some easy buckets, and then we turned around and played another rivalry that we've had for a long time right down the road. Also was Community, and probably played the best first half that we've played since I've been coaching, and we were up 41-10 and ended up winning 66-30. So one thing that has been consistent with those games is defensively, I felt like we played really well. We gave up 30 points, 27 points, 24 points. So we still haven't shot it great. I thought we shot it better last night. And then I looked at the final stats. We shot 21% from 3 and 35% from 2. So we just got a lot of opportunities. And the night you mentioned about Central Magnet, I felt like they hit a lot of contested jump shots.
Yeah, they did.
And, Addison Melton, she made some unbelievable shots. And, we tried to focus in on her and Bethany Jackson and thought we did a pretty good job contesting them and holding them, but they made some good shots. And then their supporting cast made some timely shots. And it was a 1-point game at halftime, but they just continued to hit shots. And again, we shot 22% from 3 that night. So, and I felt like we took good shots. So there's some nights that just doesn't go in, and you can play defense, but if people are hitting tough shots, there's not much else you can do about it. We're kind of lacking in size, so sometimes that's kind of hard on us.
Yeah, Chris Lynch joining us talking Eagleville girls basketball this morning. We had the opportunity to broadcast that game with Central, and it's not that you were playing bad defense at all, but they did hit some very tough shots. And on your end, you got some good looks, and they just wouldn't go in. I mean, it's just almost like some of them defied gravity. You just couldn't get them to fall. And I think at this time of the year, if that's the problem, you kind of feel like as a coach you can work through those and get better. Do you kind of feel that way?
Yeah, I do. I mean, especially since the way we're winning some of these games, holding teams in the 20s, and that puts a little less pressure on you offensively if you don't feel like you have to score every time you go down the floor. And last night was the first of we have a pretty good road stretch coming up, I believe. We have 5 out of 6 on the road coming up. So last night it was good to get on the road and, show that we can still play some good defense and have enough offense, to carry us a little bit.
Yeah,
and a lot of our offense is coming from the defense. Last night it was a good game, and we finally got a few steals and runouts, and it seems like when we're able to do that and get in transition, we're a much better basketball team, and things work, a lot better.
Yeah, didn't have that opportunity in the Central game. The runouts, they really kind of forced you to try to shoot from outside the arc, and just when those aren't falling, that it can be a tough night. But when you can get a team running up and down the floor, your team is so athletic. I would say that you could gas a team pretty quick.
Yeah, that's what we try to do, and Central did a good job of disrupting us offensively. They pushed our offense closer to half court, and they did a good job of that and hitting tough shots. So, and then you turn around and get a game like Santa Fe, which came into our place and beat us by 1. So it was good to go and, have a good performance going into our next stretch. And we have Mount Pleasant on the road on Monday, and then we have Forest at home on Friday before going back on the road to Corners One Community, and then Scottsboro, Alabama. So we've got some tough games coming up, and trying to get tuned up for district season. So anytime we can continue to get better defensively, we're going to try that. And, hopefully the shooting will come around, and we're not putting a ton of emphasis on it right now. We're just mainly focusing on, are we getting good shots? Are we taking good shots? And are we creating shots from our defense? So that's been kind of our main focus right now.
In last night's game, McLaren had 18 and Brindley Bain with 12. Mooneyham had 9 points in last night's game. Earlier in the week, or actually last Friday, Brindley had 17 in the win over Community, and McLaren had 15. So you're getting some double-digit scoring out of the two that you expect to see in there as well. And on, I guess it was the Forest game, Mila Thompson wound up with 12 points. That's the night McLaren had 30, I believe.
Yeah, that night, it's going to sound crazy that we didn't shoot it great, but we shot a bunch of layups that really helped. But, Eliza had 30, and a lot of that was from our defense and good anticipation on her part, getting out in the transition. And like you said, Mia Thompson had a great game. I think she hit 3 threes that night and had 12 points. And so we've had a few nights where Izzy Thompson and Eliza Brindley, we've had 3 in double figures several times. And it's usually those 3. And then the night like Ramia came in and Shelby's, touching it some. We've had Jules Weiss get close. So we've had nights where when we get more than 2 people scoring pretty good, we're a lot better. And right now we're having 3 girls average about 12 points a game with Eliza, Izzy, and Brindley. So we're looking for those girls to carry us scoring wise. And then, Mia coming back this year, she sat out last year. She has been really good for us defensively. She causes a lot of problems on the ball. She's a good rebounder, and she also has a pretty good shot. And she's not very tall, but she's a good finisher around the basket, which helps out. And sometimes we put her in the middle of a zone, and she's able to attack that. So, Eliza, she had 30 at Forest and 18 last night. She's capable of being an explosive player. She attacks the rim really hard. So, one stat I was proud of last night, I just looked, we had 12 assists and 6 turnovers for the game. So valuing the basketball, being unselfish, distributing the ball. And that's another one of our main focuses is, can we get the best shot available? Everybody can go down and take a shot, but can you get the one that you want? Is it a good open shot? And so those are just some of the things that we're working on right now. There's several areas that we need a lot of work on, but being early December, that's a good time to be working on some things that you see that you need to work on for district play.
Chris, you mentioned your schedule through, I guess, right up until Christmas break. You said Scottsboro. Is that where you're going after Christmas?
Yeah, we're going. The boys and girls are both going to Scottsboro, Alabama. And the guy that coaches there, and we're actually playing Scottsboro, which is a really good 3A team in Alabama. And so that'll be a real good matchup for us. And I know the coach, he used to coach at Huntland, and we've been pretty good buddies for a long time, Brandon Childers. So that ought to be fun to go down there. And he's always, when I've had my team camps, he always came up. He needed another team, so we decided to go down there this year.
So that is a tournament, I'm assuming?
Ours is just a one game out of a classic.
Okay.
The boys are actually in a tournament because we went to the Ezel Harding Classic. We didn't have as many games left on our schedule, so the boys are going for a tournament. We're just going for a one game against Scottsboro.
All right. Well, that'll be a nice little getaway for Eagleville fans who want to take a little trip down to Scottsboro to see everybody. Well, Chris, I just want to say thanks for the hospitality on Monday night. Enjoyed our time out there at Eagleville, and also want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas, and we'll catch up with you here after the brand new year, I guess.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Chris Lynch joining us here on the Coaches Show, brought to you by First National Bank of Middle Tennessee. If you're looking for a hometown feel with your bank, go to First National Bank of Middle Tennessee, offering full-service banking and mortgage services.
Rely on the experienced professionals at Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air.
If your old unit needs a tune-up, the professionals at Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air service all major brands and even offer same-day service in most cases. Keep your home or business comfortable year-round. Call us today at 615-890-1311. Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air, your Ring Pro partner heating and cooling contractor on West College Street, just under the Thompson Lane overpass. Online at PrenticeAlsup.com.
It's time to talk MTCS sports. It's Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA, live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
We're joined by Middle Tennessee Christian School coaches to talk about their most recent games and their upcoming opponents. It's time to talk orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner.
Welcome into MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance this morning, talking girls hoops today. And looking forward to our conversation today. Coach Hannah Jones joins us this morning, and lots to catch up on and talk about. Coach, good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's been pretty good, our good night for you last night, taking on BGA, and we enjoyed our time there to broadcast the game, and good result. And going to talk about that in the last few weeks. And I did have a little takeaway from your game last night, and you're doing a lot of growing up on the court, it looks like, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, losing the seniors that we did last year and starting 3 sophomores, and we had 2 rising seniors this year. So, yeah, there's a lot. And we pulled up an 8th grader and just working with what we've got and learning on the go. They've been really just being super coachable with it all.
Yeah, they really look like, you mentioned super coachable. It was really fun to see your girls' interaction last night. You know, they would look at the bench and you were, giving some instruction, and they just really looked like they were eager to go out and do whatever you said. And that's kind of fun, I would think, as a coach.
I think they're having fun too. I think especially like all our girls right now are they're buying in, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, but also that even when they're making mistakes, they're learning how to make a new mistake and having courage with that. I think it's sometimes when you make mistakes, you can get down on yourself. And I think we're turning a corner, and I hope it sustains.
Right.
And I think it will, of just that mentality of like, you're going to make mistakes, things are going to happen. But that kind of understanding the bigger picture is like, there's something more we can do, or more we can learn from. And I think when they pour into each other, they're not thinking about themselves. And I think that it's showing. And
you mentioned your rising seniors, that there's I don't want to say pressure, but there is maybe they feel like they need to pick up and carry the mantle here, if you will. And there's a lot of leadership that they are giving those youngsters, I could see too.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Our senior post, Lindsay Wisnowski, I don't know. Do you watch much like Iowa women's basketball with Caitlin Clark?
I know the name, and I've seen her play, yes.
So obviously Caitlin Clark, I think she just scored 3,000 points. She can score. She's an amazing player. But there's another player on the team that she has given credit to, a defensive player, I think Gabby Douglas, I think is her name, where all she does, she doesn't have to ever score, but she is their defensive glue. And I think Lindsay is definitely that, especially in the post, in the paint, and with how she just guards screens, how she talks, how she boxes, how she just does all those little things, and she just does her best in those roles. And then our other senior, Riley, does equally kind of the same thing, just out on the perimeter. She is just doing those little things on defense that not a lot of other girls remember to do or are aware to do in the moment. And those two are just getting it done. And they may not score a lot of points, but we need them. They're doing fantastic things for our team.
Last night was a victory 59-44. And one thing about it in Division II, you don't waste any time jumping into to district play, and that was nice to pick up the district win. And you've run your record to 3-0 in the district now, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and BGA is tough. They run a lot of different defenses, and I think they ended up shooting and making 7 threes on us, which is really tough. It's 21 of your points, that's a lot. So they did a really good job, and I think our girls, even despite them just having made that many threes, that just continuing to push. And so that was a good, solid district win right there. And we're playing again today, but not a district game, but our region opponent, Nashville Christian, who will be equally as tough and similar in style, but I think it's just these are really good for us in the long run.
Mm-hmm. You had 3 in double figures last night. Graham with 19, Shirley 16, Rucker had 14. And while I mentioned Miss Rucker, my goodness, you have to be over the moon about the potential. I mean, the sky's the limit, it looks like, with her.
She is very dynamic, so strong. I am extremely proud. She is we'll have games, and then she'll be that night before, and then 7 a.m. the next morning, 6:30 a.m. the next morning in the gym, working on her shot. She had 10 she had a double-double last night. She had 10 rebounds, and that's really, she gets those out-of-area rebounds. She's tough. She's strong. She's really, really worked on her shot on the perimeter. But, man, if she gets a straight line at the rim, you are most likely not stopping her.
Yeah. That's definitely, I mean, what I saw. And she's only going to get stronger, bigger and stronger, I think. So you've got to get out and see her play if you're an MTCS fan. That is for sure. Last night, you really had a strong second and third quarter, and that's important in the game of basketball. I think is to, especially that second half. The last, I hear coaches talk about the last 4 minutes and the first 4. How important they are. Is that kind of the mentality that you go by too?
I think we take it pretty much I break it down into score, stop, score, so 3 possessions each, and really from the beginning, it's just how we transition more instead of thinking ahead to the end. So we definitely have a lot of really good shooters in the perimeter, but we didn't shoot great from the 3. And we typically have a better free throw shooting night too. We did not shoot very well from the free throw. So shooting wise, we didn't do fantastic, but what I think where we turned the corner was the rebounds and the points in the paint, which is something different for us and something we've been really working on. Like I said, that transition from when we secure that rebound, when Lindsay gets that big rebound, that tough rebound, and we're getting it out and we're looking, I think we moved the ball really, really well. We had more assists than we have in a lot of games. So it's just keep continuing to develop and realizing we can't settle for good shots. We can get the great ones, but it really starts with our defense. So I was proud of the girls last night.
We're on MTCS Cougar Corner here this morning, and our guest is girls basketball coach Hannah Jones, and we're kind of looking back at last night's game. And let's see, by my recollection, I have you at 4-3. Is that close? Your overall record?
That's right.
And again, 3-0 in the regular season, early season in district play. Got Nashville Christian again coming up tonight. We'll look at the schedule and talk a little bit about Christmas and what's going on there as well coming up. You mentioned the free throw line and didn't shoot as well. And since you kind of brought that up, you were able to do other things to help balance that out. And when you can win games and still have, maybe a poor shooting night at the free throw line, or, not shoot as well as you could around the arc, then those are things that you can build on and improve. And it's always nice to get the win on top of that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's just part of making a new mistake. And we have shooters on our team. People are going to see that. They're going to scout that. They're going to understand that. So I think we still got open shots. It was just they weren't falling. And sometimes that happens. Instead of getting in your head, finding other ways and getting to the paint. hunting the paint first, getting those paint touches were super important for us. But it all starts with our boards, with the rebounds. So if we can get those out of area rebounds offensively, that gives us extra paint touches, more inside out threes. If we get those defensive boards, like Lindsay was huge last night. Ashley was big last night, all on the boards. Riley Smith, when she came in, like Ashley had 10 boards, Riley had 8. Our other sophomore, Kylie Joe, number 14, she had 8. Like those are really tough boards that help us transition into our secondary and what we got to get going on the other end to get those paint touches. So that was a big thing for us.
And even in some of that last night when, maybe the shots weren't going, there wasn't a sense of panic. There wasn't a sense of frustration. It was just, let's try to get this thing going. And sometimes that's hard for a younger team. And there was no hit the panic button with your girls.
No. And I think we are young, but I've had those girls like Anna Clay. I pulled her up when she was an 8th grader.
Yeah.
We've maxed out the past 2 years in a row playing as long as we have to get to that state championship. So it's like they are young, but they have experience as these young kids. And they did a fantastic job. Props to them for like when BJ was knocking down all those trays and doing really good stuff. Like our girls did not bat an eye and they didn't drop their heads. And that's big. I'm just proud.
Yeah. That experience, has to have been invaluable, knowing, that what you would have coming in this year and what graduation would have done, to go as far as you have been able to go the last 2 years. I mean, it's almost like you got another half season with those girls over the last 2.
Yeah. And with our low numbers, that helps with our conditioning too, and just endurance. Like it's hard mentally and on your bodies to go that long. And the fact that we had pretty much all of these players do that and go to the very end, the ones who are getting major minutes for us right now, they were all there. So they know it. They have that experience to lean on and to learn from. So I'm just excited to see how they keep growing.
Certainly. Did want to ask you about one of the changes in high school basketball this year, and that's the new free throw shooting rule with the bonus after 5 fouls per period, and no 1 and 1. Yeah. What do you think about that? How has it changed the way you coach?
I love it. I think it speeds up the game, obviously, but I also think that there's less like mental clutter for the girls. Like a 1-on-1, it's definitely like a pressure thing, especially if you get down the line and you're trying to foul. You take that 1-on-1 away, it just takes away like kind of a coaching advantage of how you can use those fouls, how you can use your timeouts, and then you get like the 1-on-1, how you box out. I mean, there's all those little nuances there. Now it's just you take that away. A lot of it's just on the girl. So in practice, every free throw situation we do, we're shooting 2 no matter what. And I think I like it simply. I just think that it speeds it up. I think it takes away some mental clutter for them, and just puts them. Well, we're already, like I said earlier, we're low on numbers, so we're already focusing on just playing great defense and not getting in foul trouble. So not putting people in 2 is kind of already in our wheelhouse. So I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, I think you're right about it speeding up the game. I think it really just forces you to play basketball and not get into a free throw shooting contest. So really like that part about it. Well, let's talk about the schedule that is to come here. You mentioned earlier today versus Nashville Christian, and I did want to kind of talk as well about this Tuesday, Friday, Saturday thing. I would say that's a tough schedule, and but you do this all the time, so it's kind of old hat, isn't it?
It is. The girls are taking it with stride. I think that's in stride and doing their best. I think last week where we played 3 games, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and we ended at Ezel, that was super tough. I mean, Ezel was very long, athletic, pressure. So, I mean, that was a physical test. That's perfect film for us to learn from and grow from. This week, we only played 2. Our boys played 3 because we did not play web Tuesday night. The boys only did, and then both of us played last night, and then boys and girls. So the guys tonight have been 3 games in, but he's grabbed his football guys now, so giving him some more bodies. But it's been good, I think, playing back to back. Just quick turnaround, mental shifts, taking care of your bodies, getting great rest, and doing what you're supposed to be doing. So all great life lessons.
Yeah, I noticed Greg sent me his roster, and there were 9 kids on the roster. And then last night I look up and he's got a bench full, and it's like, where did that happen? And then it's, the realization, oh, he got the football guys back. So
Yeah, and they went as far as they can, winning that state championship. So that was it's a great situation, and I think that it's awesome that all those guys are now with the boys team. It's awesome.
yeah, and you can pick them out too, because they all have their bleached hair.
Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff. But so Nashville Christian tonight, and then got a bit of a break. Is next week kind of finals week or something like that at school?
Yep, we have exams, and then we'll still do the whole Friday, Saturday thing again. We're going to go, we play Jackson Christian Friday at Freed Hardman. So that will be a cool experience to go play at Freed's court against another team. And then we'll come back for a district game at Franklin Road Academy, which will be tough.
Then you going to CAK, so a nice little road trip, it looks like.
Yeah, we're going to do a fun overnight Knoxville trip. I typically try to do at least one overnight travel trip around Christmas time or the holidays before the new year, just for team bonding purposes. Win, lose, however we play, that's great if we win, but it's really more about them just bonding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and guess then you'll enjoy the holidays, and then got a little tournament. Is it a tournament or a classic after Christmas?
I think it's just a classic.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll play East Nashville and Beach High School, so 2 big, tough teams.
That's right. I see it here. It's the Page Christmas Classic. So
yeah,
just up the road in Franklin, and you've really going to step up in classification here, it looks like, in terms of those that you'll be playing with East Nashville and Beach.
Yeah, we played East Nashville in some team camp games this summer, and they are big and strong, got some really, really tough shooters. So I'm excited. It's a different physicality to learn from them. So all the teams we play is people that just are going to challenge us in different ways. And I think it's always a great thing to just not be comfortable and take your successes when you get them, but also in those trials and those tough losses or the tough opponents, there's always a way for us to learn and grow from it. So I think that East Nashville brings something different. CAK, Knoxville, they all bring something different. And it's just going to be continuing to grow at each of our players and how they play.
Well, Coach, had a good time last night watching your girls play, and they played hard, played well. Really enjoyed the hospitality and getting to see all of our friends there at MTCS. Yeah, I did not. No, he was down the hallway.
Yeah, he was there.
I know. I heard about it, even mentioned it on the air last night, but didn't get to do that. And by the way, I'm digging the new scoreboards too.
Oh, they're so fun. Our IT team has been amazing. I guess there was a Santa cam, there was a flex cam. I know our elementary basketball teams were out there too at halftime. So super proud of them. I've been watching our game back film this morning, and I saw them at halftime being presented. So they were adorable in their jerseys, and it's just a fun atmosphere. That last night there was a lot going on, but I think it was a lot of fun for everyone.
Yeah, it was, and we'll blink, and those elementary kids will be on your bench.
Oh, I hope so.
Won't be long. Well, Hannah, Merry Christmas, and we'll catch you after the holiday, okay?
Sounds good. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you too.
We'll be back to wrap up the show. Cougar Corner scoreboard and schedule coming up when we come back.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Experts in joint, bones, and muscles. And with over 65 specialists, TOA has a playbook to get you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
It's MTCS Cougar Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro.
Presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. TOA. Live your best life. Online at TOA.com.
On FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
We're back to wrap things up here on MTCS Cougar Corner. Enjoyed our conversation with Coach Hannah Jones. And just to kind of give you a bit more of a recap from last night, again, Lady Cougars improving to 3-0 in district play with the win over BGA. And they've got a game again at 3 o'clock this afternoon versus Nashville Christian. Graham, 19 last night. Anna Clay Shirley, 16. Rucker with 14. Byram, 7. And Smith with 2 in the victory. And really great second and third quarters last night for the Lady Cougars as they get the big win. They did fall to Ezel Harding earlier in the week, 63-42. And in that game, Graham had 23 points and Shirley had 12. It was really close first quarter and lost the second quarter by 6 and the third quarter by 8 and the final stanza as well. But MTCS girls really finding themselves, I think, and, that district slate going pretty well for them. As we look at the boys from this week, last night was tough for MTCS. They took on a really good Battleground Academy. And, of course, last night was the first night to have some of the football guys back and making their debut for Coach Eubanks. And Grant Hawson actually was the leading scorer with 13 points, Cooey with 9, Dotson 6, Kaufman with 4 points last night. Hill had 3, Harvey 2, and Curry with 1. And just really a tough shooting night for the Cougars. They got into foul trouble early on. They had 4 guys with 4 fouls and 2 that had 4 fouls early in the first half, but nobody fouled out. That was a testament. Coach did a good job of running guys in and out to keep them out of that foul trouble. Also lost to Webb earlier in the week, 85-50. And Hawson had 29 in that game. Harvey 13, Hill 4, Curry with 2 in that one. So what is ahead here for the MTCS Cougars? Well, got the games versus Nashville Christian, and then a little bit of a break. Got semester exams as we run toward the end of the first semester, and then Friday, Saturday, Jackson Christian and FRA. And that FRA game next Saturday is, of course, a district game. That'll be on the road. So that's a brief look ahead. Don't forget also on mtcsports.com, you can take a look at things that are coming up and going on. And we've got the schedule that's coming up. Of course, the events over at Freed Hardeman this week, what's on the schedule there. All right, that's going to wrap us up here this morning on MTCS Cougar Corner and, of course, the Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. I want to thank you all for joining us. Next Saturday, we'll have our boys basketball coaches in for the boys wrap-up, I guess, if you will, before Christmas. Then we'll take a couple of weeks and regroup and get ready for the push through the district slate and right on to tournaments and, here we go. So we're going to take a couple of weeks after next week to kind of regroup and refresh and get ready to go. But next Saturday morning, boys basketball coaches on Pretnice Alsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner and MTCS Cougar Corner. All right, thanks to John Dinkins and Danny Brewer for their hosting duties this morning, and Dalton Barrett for being here as our producer as well. Hope you have a great day today, and we'll be back next Saturday morning. I'm Brian Barrett. Hope you have a wonderful Saturday, a wonderful weekend, and that's going to do it for our Coaches Show today.
Psyllium works by forming a gel in your digestive system to trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Metamucil's gelling action also helps to promote heart health and slows down sugar absorption to promote healthy blood sugar levels. Start feeling lighter and more energetic by taking Metamucil every day.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed.